Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Pre-gaming.
Pre-game.
We are
Let's
officially
go.
in pre-game mode.
Tailgate party.
Nice of the
Here
rest
we
of
go.
these guys to show up 8 seconds before.
Yeah.
I've been here 40 minutes. I'm freaking fired up. Let's go.
You made me nervous, Brad.
You
For the
know
first
what?
time ever, I was officially nervous for you.
You know what? It was well worth the wait. This is game day.
It is.
This is ready to go.
The biggest
go.
show that we've done so far.
And because it is the biggest show we had to do thus far,
Yeah.
I had to pull out the barbershop turnover chain. The turnover chain is in the building. Give me a spot shot on that. Get that.
Somewhere.
I need that. Listen, get the
Did you
turnover
take
chain.
Miami's retired turnover chain?
Yes, they
They
got rid of it.
They nixed it.
I melted it down into a panda turnover chain, and
Will
we
you
ready
give
to go.
that to Baker when he turns the ball over?
No, he can't have this. He doesn't pay me.
Whichever quarterback turns it over more has to wear it next week
Yes.
to practice.
By the way, Mary Kay yesterday confirmed what G and I have been saying for a while, that Myles Garrett hates Baker Mayfield.
No, hold on. That's a very strong word.
He wants him dead.
That's it. Well, when we're talking about other people's emotion towards other people,
Yeah.
I'm okay if you say you hate Baker.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we should put words in other people's
Okay, let me
mouths,
say
'cause
this
that's
again.
strong. Hate
Myles Garrett hates Baker Mayfield, and he's going to kick his freaking ass.
That's pretty.
What are you going to say about that?
That's what I took from the
Yes.
piece. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wants him dead.
Baker broke the record. Congratulations. He was honored. Did
Yeah.
you hear this
No, I
week?
didn't.
Most whining about a freaking injury in 1 year. Never heard from anybody else, but his teammates were pissed because he quit on them for that last game because he's a loser. And we're going to find out this Sunday when I'm about to kick his ass.
He is full of beans today,
Calm
guys.
down.
He's
Calm
full
down.
of beans.
Yeah, he must have a lot of
No, listen.
coffee.
Listen.
He was like,
My God.
I'm officially concerned for Bull.
Don't be concerned.
I'm concerned because
Don't
his
be
face
concerned.
got more red than
I
I've ever
am
seen
ready
it
to
yet.
go. I have energy, and let's do this.
Let me just clean that up again.
Sure.
I don't think
clean
it's
that up
fair
for us.
to say that Myles Garrett hates
toss it.
Baker
In my
Mayfield.
opinion, Myles Garrett hates Baker Mayfield.
Well,
Does that
there's
make
only
you feel
one
better?
person that's
Nobody needs to
qualified.
clean up what I say.
There's only one person qualified to say that.
Yeah.
And he has not said that yet. He has made some strong comments.
Didn't even
And
return his text.
We're going to get, well, that doesn't mean he hates him. There's a lot of people's texts I
Okay.
don't return.
Well, I believe he hates him.
Okay, you can
But
believe
Myles
that
Garrett
if you
hasn't
want.
said it.
You can believe that if you want, but I just don't want you to get hit with a slander suit.
I won't get hit with a slander suit.
Actually, you could.
No, Myles Garrett likes me. I know that. So it's all good.
Talk to him.
Yeah,
I don't know where to go.
Myles Garrett and I have
honestly don't know what to
my
do.
way, please.
I
Let's
don't-
go
Wait,
my
I will, Brad.
my
I will.
way.
I'll come to the cooler head in a second. First of all,
I'm going to sue Baker Mayfield for sabotaging the Browns for the last 2 years with his crappy play.
says Bengals fan. That'll be the sub-headline. Okay, let's tease what's coming up on the show, as if we need
Jay's
to.
bitter because of his Baker love. He's bitter right
listen,
now. He's bitter.
I'm not
Get
bitter
over it.
at all.
Get over it.
What I'm going to say again is you do have to be careful when
No.
you're characterizing other people. You do, Bull. I mean, that's a fact.
No, it's not a fact because I'm not being careful.
is a fact.
I will say legally,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think he's on decent ground. Because
He's on decent ground because Myles Garrett is a
also
public
because
figure.
And because he has built up a history of using hyperbole for effect for
Exactly.
his job.
Yeah, I know, but
And so I think he can look back
there
at
is-
that and say, well, he also said that this guy should burn in hell or something
it doesn't.
like that.
It does. I don't want to get into
There's
that. I don't want to get into
precedent,
that.
right?
All right, let's move
Well,
on.
there
We'll
actually
keep it
there
moving.
actually is precedent for
Gee, keep it moving.
guys that
Keep
do
it
have
moving.
hyperbole, but still,
Keep it
it
moving.
doesn't give you a license to just excoriate anybody and anything that you want. There are boundaries. We try to observe them as much as we can. I'm going to tell you what's coming up on the show. Not that it even needs it after that. DeQuell Jackson is here. We haven't talked to DeQuell in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks. He's been in Italy.
So
Gallivanting
it's
around
actually
Italy.
been 3 weeks. So he was off for 2 weeks. So it's been 3 weeks since we've seen him.
It's been 3 weeks since we've seen him. Yeah.
I've missed.
That guy's so
I've missed
cosmopolitan.
Captain Jack.
He lives like a
Captain
dream
Jack is
life.
in the building.
He is the most interesting man in the
He
world.
is so damn interesting.
And I miss him desperately. He's going to be here. Prop bets. I got to tell you, were there 10?
There were 10.
It felt like a Super Bowl because that's how many. When you do the prop bets on the Super Bowl, how long will the national anthem be? I felt like this was a Super Bowl. And,
Right.
And it feels like a Super Bowl for other reasons, too.
It is.
Our prop bets are really fun. I can't wait to get to those. We're going to start something today. We're going to do it every Friday, pre-written headlines. So we're all writing headlines that we believe will be appropriate on Monday morning after the game Sunday. I can't wait to see what we have there. Tyvis Powell is going to join us. Tyvis is beginning his Big Ten Network career today. He is at the Shoe ahead of Arkansas State, Ohio State. He's going to be in their pregame and I believe their postgame shows live from Columbus. We're thrilled for Tyvis. He's going to join us from there. He'll give us a Browns prediction. He'll give us a Buckeyes prediction and everything else. But first, we start with the Baker beef. And this was from Mary Kay Cabot yesterday. Wrote a fascinating piece which really fills in some of the blanks publicly. I think everybody kind of figured out that there was definitely something going on between Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield. Myles actually has talked about it. I'm interested to know what the timing was of that interview. Was it recently? Did Mary Kay do it in the summer and held on to it for today?
Mary Kay said she sat down with him last week.
Okay, I was interested. I think the timing's great for the Browns because as we're getting close to kickoff here, I think everybody, not that the fans have anything to do with it, but it just heightens everybody's emotion for what this game means.
The game was already hyped up. The game was already hyped up. Now it's even more.
Now we know there is a personal vendetta going on.
Everybody loves a good storyline.
And that's the storyline.
Don't say there's a personal vendetta. We don't know that factually correct.
No, we do know that.
We don't know it.
I'll tell you why we know that. I'll tell you
why.
I'm
messing with you. Let's go.
I know,
Keep it moving.
The reason we know that is because this is what, and I was kind of surprised that he was this open. This is not who Myles Garrett is. Myles Garrett opened the vault.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad he did. Here's what he told Mary Kay Cabot. An excellent job by Mary Kay. Great reporting, great writing. He got a text from Baker, a goodbye text, essentially, saying, I was like, glad to spend some time with you and everything else. But Myles' response, not to the text, but to Mary Kay's question about it, he said he appreciated the time we got to spend together and getting to know each other and growing together. I really didn't say anything.
That first part was what Baker said to Myles Garrett.
No, this is...
No, go back to 7, Mike.
Yeah.
Go back to 7.
Yeah.
This is the text that Baker sent Myles.
Yes.
Right. Okay, now but
the next
he
is-
paraphrased. I started with what Myles said about that. I think everybody has seen
Imagine
this.
not answering that.
No, but
paraphrased
the
it
first
by
thing
saying-
you said is what Baker said to Myles in the text.
Yes, but it's also what Myles said in his answer to Mary Kay. He quoted the text. He
Right,
said,
but you made it seem like that was what Myles was saying to Baker.
No, this is what I said. This is what
Okay.
Myles said to Mary Kay.
All right.
He did not reply to the tweet.
Yeah.
This is how he replied to Mary Kay's question, of the text rather,
Right.
about the text. So we're clear. Myles said to Mary Kay that Baker said he appreciated the time we got to spend together and getting to know each other and growing together. He said, I really didn't say anything. I didn't really have much to say, and I didn't know how to reply to it, so I didn't. I read the text, but there were some disagreements we had at a base level, and I'm not mad at the guy or feeling any way towards it. That's why I think it's very careful that we don't say he hates him. Because on the record, he says he's not mad at him. He's not feeling any way towards it.
This is a super soft beef that we're trying to make into something, obviously.
No, I think there's something there, but it's not.
Look how
It's
polite
not.
this
He
is.
hates his guys.
Oh, it is. It is, but keep
Look
going.
how polite this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. But I just didn't know how to reply to that, so I didn't, which is fair, by the way. I think in human interaction, if you don't know how to reply to something, leave it lay. That
If someone's
says
a friend,
more.
you reply to them.
That says more than a response,
Right. Yeah.
in my view.
Yes.
But I still think he's a hell of a competitor, and he's a great guy to have on your side, and I'm rooting for him. I think he has a great family.
Them's fighting words.
I took particular interest in that. I think he has a great family. Interesting thing to drop in there. But he's the opposition now, and at the end of the day, and this is where I think we can say that there's animus,
Yes. And he wants to kick his ass.
I've got to take him out.
I got to take him out. He
And that's
wants
his
to kick
job.
ass.
I mean, I would hope he would say
He
that.
wants to kick his
Great
ass.
phrase,
Bush.
though. Great.
Yeah.
Not
But
have
I
to
think
tackle,
we
not
know
have to
where
sack him.
Bull is on this.
Yeah.
But I do want to start with you, Brad,
please.
because you are the calm, measured voice in the room in most instances.
Now you know why Baker couldn't stay here, because
So
they
go.
hate his guts. Go ahead.
So, thank you, Jay, for tossing that to me. First of all, let me just say,
This seat sucks.
It's the only time a 7-footer will complain about looking
Can we
too
get
short.
a better chair already? Can somebody get a better chair for the middle seat?
I've never.
You look like you're about to do story
You'd
time
probably be
with us.
better off with one of
It is
these
the most
chairs.
uncomfortable chair I've ever sat in.
I will
right?
look in the budget and see if we can find a couple dollars to get Brad.
going back
Take
to
some of
Jay-
that Ohio State money
going
for the
back to
chair.
Jay's question here, right?
Kidding.
And I know it's saucy out here, and everybody likes the sauce, right? But as a person who has played, I don't care about that.
Right.
This is going to be settled in the rectangular box.
You bet.
I'm going to see you in 48 hours. I got to talk to you. I don't even care about your tweets. I don't care about your family.
And they don't have to be
I
friends.
don't care about none of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to see you here. Matter of fact, I hope you're at the captain's meeting in the middle. That's where it really goes down. It's like the boxers where, you know how we square up at the line.
Yeah, you
I'm
size
a
the
little
boys up.
sizing you up
look
right
at-
here.
And
you
Baker
look at his
named the
eyes,
captain
And then
yesterday.
ready? And
You-
when
one
I'm-
would think
and
they
when-
will meet at
and-
midfield
and when
before
I'm
the game.
walking away from you, this is the day. 60 minutes coming your way.
You think he'll shake his hand?
Oh, yeah, he's going to do that.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Fair follow-up, Mayor, though. Is this different from your age, though? I mean, this is how they communicate now. You weren't communicating through text with each other and sending each other love notes when you were leaving. So is it
They did it man to man back then.
Is that why?
There's some principles. It's etiquette here. It's like golf etiquette, Mike. Right? Some things don't change. I don't care what century you're in, right?
Golf etiquette sucks, though. Let's be honest.
It's mano y mano, me against you in this box. You can't run. You can't hide. It's all going to be on the screen because everybody's waiting. We've been waiting for. We've been building up for this for months.
Right.
Right.
Are they both thinking that
months,
way?
Because
Are
this
they
goes
both
back
thinking
to
that way?
OBJ and all that sauce that's in there. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
Today you don't have on an orange jersey. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah.
I've
Right?
heard that
and
multiple times.
And so I would just tell you, we're gonna settle this. Either you gonna come out and kick my butt, or I'm
right.
gonna do you.
And they're both kind of looking at it the same way.
I don't have to talk about it. So when Myles tells me, I don't really want to get into this, but I'm gonna see you. 60 minutes. You gonna run, and I wish they had the defensive and offensive line mic.
I do too for this
Mike.
game.
Oh, man.
I'm wondering if
Mike.
NFL Films will throw mics on these guys and we'll hear it on Tuesday when they
Probably.
unload their sound.
Like I've
Around
been
the
waiting
NFL.
for you.
Guessing that if they're up for it, both of them have probably been requested to put on the wireless mic. And I hope they wear it.
I'll give you an example. Von Miller was jacked last night.
Yes, he was.
He was ready to
And
go.
he had no reason
No,
to be. He wasn't
was
done
ready.
wrong, or
No.
he didn't feel like he would been done
But
wrong by
it's
St.
because
Louis.
the scores are
or
settled in the
LA.
box. I don't care if you're in the basketball box or the football box. That's where it's settled at.
Yeah.
And Von Miller came. He was ready.
By the
right?
way, he looked like a beast
he
last
was
night.
ready. Right?
Oh my
One
God!
point on this. Can we agree this is some soft ass smack talk? What kind of smack
It's
talk?
2022 smack talk.
What kind of smack talk has in the middle of it? And my best to your family. I mean, that's our smack talk.
That's nice.
This is
That's
terrible.
Trying to be a little nice.
So
You know
bad.
what? Miles is that dude, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Miles is definitely
point is
not
we're
the
trying
kind
to
of
make
guy.
this
Yeah,
Similar
but Mike,
to
no,
this.
it is something because it's clear that Myles Garrett does not like Baker. It's
Right.
pretty obvious.
Sure.
We already knew that, but now everybody else is finding that out.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he don't like him. He wants
But
to
it's
kick
a-
his ass. The team was pissed for a variety of reasons.
But we're doing a lot
Baker.
of this. We're doing like, so you
Yeah,
mad
but-
at him?
but
You
here-
mad at him?
Yes,
Are you
good,
say why you're
good.
mad? Remember that time that happened? How'd you feel about that?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're provoking this and
I
trying to
don't know.
create-
Nobody forced him to talk
I'm not saying
about
Mary
it.
Kay did. I'm saying in general, we as a public are just like, we want them to hate
I'm
each other.
not even moved by it. I don't care.
Yeah,
I
my
don't care.
reaction to it was already, we knew that Baker was looking at this as the most important game of his life.
Right.
And we knew that Miles was looking at this as the most important game of his life. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you can ratchet it up any more than that.
And for two different reasons, right? If the Browns are a team that's on an ascension, have these big plans, right? Well, you can't come out the box stumbling, right?
Right.
That's why I said yesterday that the Browns have more to lose
Buffalo was a team they talk about could be in a Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Buffalo came to play.
So what, the Rams season is over because they lost their first
but
game?
No, but-
if you're setting the tone for your team, right?
They dropped
you
a
want-
statement
you want-
W.
You want to come out the box right.
I've given
G. Bush is trying to land
Yeah,
on
G. Bush talk, yeah.
I've given everybody enough runway.
Yeah, it's enough.
He's now air traffic controlling himself into the conversation.
Now let me tell you what really went
Come
down.
on, G.
Now let me tell you what really
Tell me
went down.
something.
Now, there is a major beef here. People just didn't know it. I remember tweeting about this, a couple of years ago, maybe 2. I tweeted, I said, y'all remember that time Myles Garrett threw that helmet and Baker Mayfield was talking out of turn on the field right
Way out
before
of turn.
it was just, at that point,
Yeah.
I tweeted that, and I tweeted what he said. And I actually put the video up there. I stole that video, put it up there. And I had, Stole the heck out of our video, put it up there. Allegedly.
Shuts down the stream.
Allegedly.
Someone else may have done that.
Allegedly. Somebody sent me that. Then I put that up, and 99, I would say 75% of the Browns fans hit me with the garbage quote, the terrible quote.
What do they disagree with?
You're better than that.
Garbage.
You're better than that, G. I'm disappointed in you. Someone could have got hurt.
He's doing a white guy voice just so you guys
Someone
know.
could have got hurt there.
I don't think there's any question.
By the way, nobody
about
cared about people getting hurt when Aaron Donald. hit
Nobody,
somebody.
including
Nobody cared.
me. I said, you guys got, listen, the Browns fans be having fake outrage against themselves because we want to be validated, because we want to be in the club.
You're right.
Oh, we'll turn on our own guys, and as soon as somebody else do it, guess what? Mason Rudolph didn't get no suspension, nothing. Now, when she talked about that, people went crazy. I did it in real time. Now we come back 2 years later, we find out Sheldon Richardson and another group of veterans pull him aside before he can even get in there and say, look,
What they say?
when your brother or something go down in the street, you get your brother's back.
Get behind
and
him,
then then you worry about what you was fighting for.
Get ye behind me.
If something go
And it
down,
was like minutes after it happened, too.
if something go down and either one of y'all is out there getting jumped, I ain't about to stay out there and let you get jumped. I'm gonna be in it, and then I'll ask you later. Even if I don't agree.
You got to have your teammates back.
And so when he said that, you got to think what happened to Myles Garrett. Not only he got what nobody wants, he got the indefinite suspension.
Yeah.
They gave him the 6 games. Then he had to reinstate.
Right.
Then he had to go in front of the Roger Goodell and act like he was rehabilitated and act like he was some sort of thug.
Had to pretend to regret hitting Mason
I
Rudolph.
regret it. And then he came out and said, you know what he called me, right? And then everybody kind of let me back up on that. I don't want to touch that. Now, if that was me, and and we know Myles Garrett, has he ever lied? I don't know him to be no liar. I know him to play with dinosaurs and D&D, Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
So
Pretty stand-up guy?
Pretty stand-up dude. So when he did that, the relationship was over. There was no coming back from
That's
that.
right. I will give you this, G. That is right, because when you're in pro in any sport, I don't care what level you're in, something go down, you don't be jumping on the other dude's side, right?
No.
I don't care if you even agree with it.
Especially on the national broadcast, the game is the game is 10 seconds old.
And by the way, that wasn't the first time he spoke out of line about a teammate. He did the same thing with Duke Johnson.
Yep.
We just all backed him up because Duke was.
In the pros, they will hang
on the contract issue.
They will hang
And,
you.
and that
Yeah,
was something
no
that I
never
know a lot
talk
of
about it
rookies
on
have to learn hard lessons, but one of the first lessons that every professional has to know is you better keep everybody's contract situation out of your mouth.
That's right.
Yeah.
You never go there. And
That's
he
right.
did that before he ever played a game for the Browns.
Mikey McNuggets
And
once
everybody-
talked about my contract out of line.
Not to the public.
Not
He
to the
did.
public.
He did.
It would be tasty, though, if you guys knew how much Bull made. Almost as tasty as the Built Bar I had this morning.
There we go.
On my way
I'm not ready to
into
leave this
work,
conversation.
I'm telling you, I had the chocolate
Bring that
peanut butter
back.
one today. I switched it up from the cookie dough chunk puffs. Just as delicious, the same nutritional value, 15 grams of protein,
How do they
only
fit all that
160
protein in there?
calories. And if you want
They
15%
cram it in with a
off,
protein injector.
Locked On 15's your 15% off promo code at built.com.
What brand? What flavor?
I did the chocolate peanut butter, not the
Oh,
cookie dough
you
chunk
stay
puffs.
on the
I switched it up
chocolate.
this
That's
morning.
Interesting.
It was delicious. And next thing that's delicious we're talking about is the fantasy tips that Dave Richard is going to give to us.
Yeah.
And before you guys ask a question, I have a question for Dave.
Okay.
Dave, I started Cam Akers last night. What the hell?
Whoa. Travion Henderson.
Fair question.
Or what's Henderson?
The first
Darrell Henderson.
first mistake you made was not listening to me and drafting Cam Akers in the first place. Unless you got him in like round 6 or round 7. Did you get him in
I
round
got him
6?
late, very late, yeah.
Okay, then I can't blame you for doing that, but you had to start him with some trepidation. I don't think anybody expected just 3 carries. He looked
That was horrible.
exactly as bad as he looked in the playoffs in January. You should be
He
very
is who we thought
scared.
he was.
Yes.
Dave, I know we don't ask you about IDPs very often, and I don't know how much IDP analyzing you do. For those who don't know what that means,
Very
it's
little.
individual defensive player. How many sacks you got from Myles Garrett on Baker Mayfield this weekend, Dave? How many sacks?
If you say 5, you're
gotta
off the
give
show
him-
forever.
No, it's going to be like 2.
2
I
sacks.
think he'll get to him twice.
Thank you, Dave.
I'll take the over on that.
All right.
I took the over.
Now, Dave, there's a question about certain receivers. You know, I see guys like Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson has the shoulder. What do you think their upside is with Mitch Trubisky? And is that a couple of receivers you would kind of shy away from?
No, I think if Deontay Johnson plays, fantasy managers are going to start him. I thought Trubisky looked pretty good in the preseason. So if he can carry that over into the regular season, I don't think he'll be a problem. And I think we're going to see a different style from the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively. And I think they might be more inclined to throw because of what we saw from Trubisky in the preseason. And from all accounts, he had a pretty good camp too. It took Kenny Pickett a little while to get on the same page as the rest of the offense. He's probably a good step and a half behind Mitchell Trubisky from actually playing. And you know that the biggest issue in Pittsburgh is their offensive line anyway. And you saw last night how important an offensive line is to a passing game. If the offensive line is a problem in Pittsburgh, why would they put their rookie behind that line? So I think they're going to wait until that offensive line starts to gel a little bit, if it gels a little bit. And when that happens, if Trubisky is uneven, that's when you'll see Kenny Pickett play. But until then, you're going to see Trubisky. I think you start Deontay Johnson as a number 2 receiver if he goes. And I think Claypool is an interesting sleeper this week, both in DFS and in seasonal play. That slot matchup going to be very juicy for him.
Dave, Allen Robinson, we've blamed all the bad quarterbacks he's played with for the last bunch of years. Last night, only 2 targets, 1 catch, and the second target was right at the end of the game. Concern or blip on the radar?
I think it's concern. And I'll tell you, before I came on with you guys, I spent a good 30 minutes watching the film. I got through about 2.5 quarters. And the only way that Allen Robinson gets open is against zone coverage, either when he's crossing the field or he's running a short out route. Wow. Even at times when he was covered by Dane Jackson, and you guys might say, who's Dane Jackson? He's a pretty good corner for Buffalo. He could not get open. The other problem is that a lot of the routes that he ran, Bull, were downfield. They were like 15-yard routes, and it felt like it took a week and a half for him to finally finish the route and get open. And by the time he did it, Stafford was on to somebody else in his reads. Stafford also was under siege. That was a problem. So I think fantasy managers are going to have to take a big step back in terms of expectations for Allen Robinson after all. And this is one of the problems we have when a team doesn't play their guys in the preseason. And when every single report out of training camp is, oh, Allen Robinson looks great, and Allen Robinson gets along well with the quarterback, and all these positive about Robinson. Well, we just saw him play in his first competitive game this year, and he looked like he's about 35 years old. It's frustrating. I don't think you're going to get anything for trade, so you might as well just hold on to him and hope that he has a better game and maybe a couple more end zone targets against the Falcons next week.
Dave, due to an unfortunate scheduling conflict, I had to auto-draft one of my in one of my leagues, and Yahoo chose Trey Lance for me in the 5th round. I'm thinking about suing the company. Anyways, can you make me feel better about? Don't even think about where I drafted him. Can you make me feel better about him as a quarterback statistically this year, or can I just write that league off?
Don't write the league off, because I think Trey Lance is going to show you who he is right now in the first 2 games. These are favorable matchups for him against Chicago and Seattle. And I would say that he's got the potential to get you like 23 fantasy points in a 6-point per passing touchdown league. I think Bull would tell you that that's solid. The first 2 weeks of the season, I think he's got a shot at that. Now, if he really dominates in those first 2 games, then I like his chances to actually step up and keep it going when the matchups get tougher. And there's a lot of tougher matchups coming his way. Denver in week 3, the Rams in week 4. I think you start him this week, but make sure you find another quarterback to put on your bench for when, not if, Trey Lance starts to struggle a little bit.
Who's that nobody has right now, or is everyone's looking past? It's still available.
Matt Ryan, maybe?
I think you might be able to find Trevor Lawrence. He might have gone undrafted. Justin Fields is another one. We might see Tua Tagovailoa actually put up some good numbers this year. Those would be the first 3 that I would look for.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's a guy in Miami. And it's not Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle. What the heck are they going to get with Tua? He's getting some touches taken away from him with Tyreek Hill. What's the upside for Jalen Waddle?
I think we're going to see a lot of targets funneled to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Not in that order. Tyreek's going to get more. But Waddle was great last year as a short area target for Tua. Say that 10 times fast. I think as long as he's on the field and he's close to 100%, we know he's got this injury bothering him. I think he's going to find ways to make plays after the catch. That's the whole basis of what the offense in Miami is supposed to be. And defenses are going to be forced to key in on Tyreek Hill or play a lot of heavy zone. That means that there's going to be a lot of short and intermediate throws. You know, those throws were available for Allen Robinson, but it took him a while to get open. It will not take a while for Jalen Waddle to get open provided that he's healthy. We'll get an idea of that on Sunday. I think he's got 5-catch potential as a floor. I don't know if potential is the right word to use there, but 5 catches is a floor for him week in, week out. And he might get as many as 10. So in a PPR league, he's a surefire starter with great upside because of what he can do after the catch.
Dave, how long have you been doing this, the fantasy gig?
Oh, long time.
Oh, Jay. I've been playing since 97.
Wow.
And been writing about it since 03.
What's the earliest you've ever seen someone draft a kicker?
I've seen somebody take a kicker in round 2.
Wait, you
Hold
saw
on.
someone take a kicker in round 2?
I'm gonna knock you out.
I am protecting the name of the person who did it. It is a former NFL player who took his teammate in round 2. Might have been his
We just got to
golfing
look for the
buddy
lowest
as
Wonderlic
well.
score.
So
Lamar
Dave,
Jackson definitely
I
took
took Justin Fields as my quarterback, maybe 5th
Okay.
round. Tell me what I think.
No, you took a kicker in the 5th
I
round.
can't. First of all, stay on my locker, right? Stay in your locker over here, right? Do that, right? Follow your own rules here.
It's about to turn into a Myles Garrett Baker situation.
Dave, why you don't like my boy Justin Fields?
I like him. I don't love him. The reason why I don't love him is because his receiving core leaves a lot to be desired. I think Darnell Mooney's going to get a lot of targets. He's an explosive receiver. Cole Kmet is not an explosive tight end, but he's a good short area guy. They're definitely going to draw up some plays for him. And Justin Fields is going to run a lot. And that's one of the ways that you make some hay in fantasy football. Again, citing an example from the Thursday night game, Josh Allen had a lot of yards rushing. When you've got a quarterback that can put up good numbers as a passer, but still give you 50-plus rushing yards, that's what makes a great fantasy quarterback. Remember, the name of the game is stats. You want to get players who can get as many stats as possible, and Justin Fields should get a lot of stats, not only on design runs, but, man, that offensive line in Chicago, it's a mess. And when it flushes Fields out of the pocket, he's going to take off, and he's fast, and he doesn't mind picking up chunks of yardage at a time if it means keeping the ball and not turning it over and maybe getting some points on the board for the
By the way, Dave and I have been talking fantasy football for years. He's been on my radio show in the past. Dave and I did a radio show. Remember that, Dave? It was a while ago.
Oh, of course. It was so much fun. Do you remember when our last segment we tried to answer as many questions as possible?
Yes.
And we got to over 100 questions?
Yes, I do remember that. Dave and I hosted a fantasy football show together on CBS Sports Radio. It was the fastest 2 hours of radio. It felt like it went by in 2 seconds.
I remember that.
And in the last segment, we would, as Dave said, we would see how many questions we can answer from fans on Twitter,
that's cool.
whatever. And we broke a record for over 100. But last thing, well, two last things for me, and then that's it. Rashad Penny, your thoughts on him, especially with Walker out for this game. But who knows about game script because they're playing Denver and they might get blown out. And the second thing, to wrap it up, if you deep league, you had to grab either Donovan Peoples-Jones or David Bell for this year. Who you taking?
Oh goodness, I think I would take Peoples-Jones on the off chance that he gets more targets than we expect, and then if he doesn't, pivot right to David Bell right after that. As for Rashad Penny, I think he gets a lot of work. I think Seattle actually finds a way to keep it close against Denver. Who knows Russell Wilson better than Pete Carroll and the staff in Seattle? They've worked with him for so many years. I think they know how to irritate him, and they're going to try and keep the ball out of his hands. And Penny was great last year. Remember, in his starts when he was running, we're talking about 7 yards per carry, especially in games when he wasn't running against a great defense like the Rams. It was the only time he struggled last season. And I think this Denver defense will be good. But against the run, I think they're going to have some aches and pains. So Penny, for me, solid number 2 fantasy running back this week.
Let's go to Mike
McNuggets has some questions. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Dave, since we started, we've got a couple questions from the internet they want to ask you. Start them, sit them, and whenever we ask the internet, their questions are brought to us by PCC Airfoils. Are you looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and signing bonuses. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. So the first one comes from Kevin Murphy. Kareem Hunt or Chase Edmonds? Start him or sit him? Who would you take?
Edmonds is who I like better, even in non-PPR.
Number 2 from Stephen Lutz. In a flex position, Russell Gage or Adam Thielen?
Thielen, even if Chris Godwin doesn't play.
And
So
last
definitive.
but not least,
I like that.
Terry McLaurin, the Buckeye, or DJ Moore, the Panthers' number 1 receiver, going up against the Browns?
I know you guys aren't going to like hearing this, but I think DJ Moore gets somewhere between 10 and 15 targets and is a real pain in the butt against the Browns secondary. I would start DJ Moore. I've got Moore as a top 10 wide receiver this week.
Dave, we don't like that. I think Denzel Ward's going to kick his ass.
Yeah, on that note, thanks, Dave. We'll see you next Friday.
Thanks, Dave. See ya.
We hope you're wrong on that last tidbit. He's usually right.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Hey,
Richards,
good luck
our
in your
fantasy
leagues
guy.
this week, guys.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
buddy.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Yahoo
I know
also-
DeQuell's on, and we're ready to bring him in. We really don't have anywhere in the show where we talked about last night's game and what our thoughts were. I think we can do that with
We can
DeQuell
do it
as we
with
bring him
DeQuell.
in, because
let's
I
bring him
think
in,
it's
though.
worth at least. I mean, it was
Yes.
somewhat of a surprise. I think the outcome. Without 4 turnovers, it's probably a 5-touchdown victory.
Right.
And they were fluky turnovers. It's not like they were Bills' mistakes.
Interesting game.
DeQuell Jackson, the most interesting man in the world, Captain Jack. Welcome back to the program. We missed you. It's been 3 weeks since you got
There he is!
There he is.
I thought he was going to be on a gondola.
That would have been good.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing?
How was Italy?
Oh, it was amazing. I ate like crazy. I drank a lot of great wine. One thing about the trip, we had a lot of great. I didn't have a bad meal there for 2 weeks. I didn't have a bad meal. It was absolutely great. We were on boats for half the time. We were partying the other time, and just a great time. Great time. We actually slept like 10 hours a night, which was crazy.
Wow.
But yeah,
Man.
that's
Look
us
at that. Looks
in
beautiful.
Sardinia, just having fun. We were 2 kids, just having fun, just the
That's
2 of us
awesome.
without any distractions from the little one. So
Nice.
it was a well needed vacay.
He is
So
the
now
most
we're back
interesting
to
man in the world.
reality.
Yeah, well needed. His last vacation was a whole 4 weeks before that.
Yeah.
So imagine the exhaustion.
Hey, can I add one thing here real quick?
Go ahead, Mikey.
So DeQuell, we have Director Steve's out this week, so we got Director Mike in. And I'm like, all right, DeQuell's
Okay.
ready. He goes, DeQuell's not there. He didn't understand the
he
chair
doesn't
turn.
get the bit.
Yeah,
He
right.
doesn't know.
Mike,
It's
you
chair
ever watch
turn,
every
baby.
And the
episode?
audible
Welcome to the
on our
show.
end wasn't ready.
Well, we know Mike's not watching the show.
Director Mike needs to watch every single episode. Start at the
And
beginning.
speaking of Steve, we got to come up with a collection pot for him for Christmas to get him an iPhone, because I tried to send him a video the other
I
day and
know.
it would not go through.
It's-
And
Different Steve, DeQuell.
It's
Yeah,
just-
that's our coordinating
I think
producer.
that Steve does not have an iPhone
Okay.
either.
Oh yeah, they
Director
both.
Steve
I don't think Brad does either. You don't have an iPhone.
He has
do
a
you,
flip
Brad?
phone on his belt.
Oh, Brad has an iPhone. Who else does? No, Mike doesn't
Okay.
have an iPhone. It's Mike, not
Yeah,
Brad.
I don't have an iPhone.
Mike uses a
have a-
BlackBerry, the last
Oh,
one in
my
America.
God.
the Crackberry?
I'm
Wow.
sick.
Yeah, he's still rocking the BlackBerry.
You don't have to react like that, DeQuell Jackson.
The worst part is when you get the green, right? You get the green. I hate the green.
Before we get into the Browns, and there's so much to get there to, we really don't have a spot in the show to talk about what happened last night. What was your takeaway?
Well, I only watched the first half, to be honest with you. I'm still kind of jet lagged right now, so I was actually in bed by 9 o'clock.
Wow.
But I did see the highlights of it, and I definitely saw the horrible throw from
Stafford.
Jesus Christ, Matthew Stafford, when on an out route, a classic out route, he threw it right to the defender, and that's probably where I probably fell asleep at that point. But I saw the highlights this morning, and wow, Buffalo came out ready to play. I mean, everyone thought there's a lot of people that have Buffalo on their list to play in the Super Bowl, and they came out and showed it. I saw the highlight of Stephon Diggs at the end against a great corner who was sleeping. He was in cover 3 coverage. He has to be deeper than the deepest, and just lack of concentration, lack of focus. Something that you would expect from other guys, not just star guys. And I think in the end, the Rams, their stars didn't play because they're so top heavy. They invested heavily into guys in star roles, and the first game, everyone's not clicking on all cylinders, but none of their stars played at a star level and started their role. And the Buffalo Bills came out with a purpose. They came out and set a tone, and I mean, it wasn't even close from the game I saw, to be honest.
Something I thought I'd never see, DeQuell, was a guy catching a touchdown on Ramsey who actually tripped and fell, and he still called the touchdown. But that's how much separation he had. And you're right. But based on the way Jalen Ramsey looked at times last year, late in the season, and what we saw last night, I think it's fair to start at least asking the question, has he lost his fastball a little bit? And I know it might not be physical, it might be up here, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time too many times.
Yeah, and for a cornerback, cover 3, that's what you want. You have a third of the field. and there was no other route, that would take his eyes away from his
It
responsibility.
looked like he was
and
peeking into something in the middle of the field, short, but that's not even his area, is it?
Yeah, he's a vet. You have to do your job first and then and then see where your eyes and the quarterbacks take shits. But and not only that, you have Stephon Diggs.
Right.
Stephon Diggs, this wasn't a regular guy. This is Stephon Diggs, one of the top receivers in the league, and you take your eyes off of.
Yeah.
I know he has an elite athletic ability, but no one's that good. Good on good. If you don't have the right mechanics, the right discipline, that's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, the Rams came up short. And obviously, one game doesn't dictate their season. I'm sure those guys will play better next week against Atlanta. But last night just wasn't a good outing by the defending Super Bowl champions.
DeQuell, let's get into the Browns here. I'm sure you probably didn't see Mary Kay's article this morning with some quotes from Myles Garrett.
I read them.
Oh, you did read it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yes.
G and I have been saying for a while, Myles Garrett don't like Baker Mayfield. They were pissed. They were pissed when he spoke out of turn about Myles Garrett hitting Mason Rudolph with the helmet. The team didn't like that he quit on them. They felt like he quit on them in the final game of last year. I think there's clearly bad blood here, and that just boils this up even more. Does the off-the-field stuff, does the Baker talking last week in the T-shirt, does Myles' comments, does this stuff matter in the locker room or no?
I mean, they're going to tell us it doesn't matter, but for a guy like Myles Garrett, when the Mason Rudolph incident happened and when your star quarterback goes on national television and basically takes the side of the opponent, I still have a problem with that. And Myles Garrett should have a problem with it. And I read the article of when Baker Mayfield was traded, he reached out to Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett didn't know what to say. Obviously, that rift, that beef, whether we can blow it up or not, there's something there. And Myles Garrett, I don't blame him. I'm like, that's cardinal rule number one you don't do in the locker room, whether you know all the facts or not. Right. If you're asked about an incident that clearly isn't who Myles Garrett is, it took some explosive language, as he, using his words, for him to react that way. You don't automatically side with the other team. You say, you know what, I'll wait until I get all the facts, but he's my guy. I know the character of my teammate, and right now I have nothing more to say about it. Right. But instead, he took the other route. And as a player in the locker room, listen, whether you're right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm on your side until I know the facts. But I'm not going to publicly go and condemn you about something that you don't have all the facts about. And I think from that moment on, Myles Garrett was like, you know what? You're not helping us win. You're not the reason why you're helping us win. We have a championship roster, and you're the reason that this team is being held back. So this weekend, Jadeveon Clowney, all the D-line, I know those guys are putting hat in the pot. Who's the first one to touch Baker Mayfield?
In the box.
And because it's going to be a party. It's going to be a party behind the line of scrimmage. Because playing a guy like him who had this T-shirt, finally off the leash. What leash? What leash?
Well,
the Cleveland Browns were hampered by your play. If you could do more from the quarterback position, you had Jarvis Landry. You had a tight end, arguably, they went and paid that the organization thinks you were probably the reason he didn't reach his potential. And then you had Odell Beckham Jr. And you had a two-headed monster in the back. You had everything you possibly could have and want as a quarterback to get the job done, and you didn't. Instead, they traded you away for a guy who was under all type of scrutiny and criminal proceedings. They went out and invested in him as opposed to keeping you and trading, but they decided to trade you away. So all this extra stuff off the field, man, those guys in the locker room, they cannot wait until that whistle blows to touch a piece of his jersey, because it's going to be a party behind that line of scrimmage.
Tell them about this. Tell them about what is the captain's meeting at midfield. Tell them about that, DeQuell, how that happens.
Listen. If I'm on the Browns, that's a moment where, you know what, this whole friend stuff, this whole beef, all that, it's over with. I don't care anything about you right now. I'm providing for my family. I'm providing for myself. I'm trying to make sure you realize, I'm going to make you realize you were the reason why we didn't get over the hump. And at the gosh. Like, I've been thrown out. Hey, Brad, I'll tell you a true story. In college, this is how serious the captain's meeting at midfield is. I got thrown out by a guy named Ron Cherry because I was talking so much smack to the other guy who I know, who I didn't like. They kicked me out. So it gets serious up there. You just don't hear a lot about it.
Face-off circle in hockey.
Yeah, the guy kicked me out. He's like, Jackson, you got to get the heck out of here. You got to go.
You got to go.
Word.
You got to go.
And he kicked me out of midfield at the coin toss. So, but it's serious.
Yeah.
How was Sunday's game decided? What wins this game for either team?
Oh, for me, the Cleveland turnovers, and I feel like the Cleveland Browns defense are going to come to play. Because even, for beginning of the season, we look at the Rams, right? We watched them, how they were kind of inept. They didn't really use all their weapons. They had brought on Allen Robinson, was a guy that you thought would make an immediate impact. Offenses aren't clicking on all cylinders right away. So if you have a defense that's familiar with each other, that is one more year in the scheme, they're communicating more. The only blatant hole they have is at the D tackle position, which you can overcome when you have a Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and your slew of defensive backs. So I think it comes down to defense. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, yet I do think it's going to be a dominant performance by the Cleveland Browns defense because they know Baker Mayfield, they know his tendencies. You better believe those guys in the defensive back room, they know what his weaknesses are. And Baker Mayfield likes to think he's a better athlete than he really is. And Myles Garrett and those guys, they understand that. So they're going to need interior penetration. So Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney can use their athletic ability to run him down and have a party on Baker Mayfield.
And Garrett gets a rookie, DeQuell.
What's that?
And Garrett gets a rookie lining up against him.
Even better. And they have a revamped offensive line, the Carolina Panthers. So this isn't a sure thing from the Carolina Panthers standpoint. And all the noise Baker's been making about his former team, guys are listening. They're paying attention to it. They may not tell us when the microphone's in their face, but you better believe you're already juiced up for the first game of the season because you want to get off to a good start. This only adds more fuel to the fire. And Baker Mayfield, I hate to say it, he's talking more than his plan, his production will be. And he's basically putting his foot in his mouth once again. And I don't see him coming out having a great game and making us scratch our head. Oh, well, was it? Did we make the right decision to get rid of him? No. I don't.
He's
think
off the leash, you guys. He's off the
leash.
He's
off the leash.
That leash we had him on when we let him play with a broken shoulder all season last year.
In the comments about him gonna F up the Browns. Come on, man. Are you serious?
Hey, man,
are you kidding me?
I got a T-shirt that says "We dropped the anchor." I'm gonna ask you. This is a very important question. After the game, does Baker Mayfield give Kevin Stefanski to Hugh Jackson? Psych. Will he shake Kevin Stefanski's hand? I guarantee it's going to be a hit.
No chance if he loses.
Right, if he wins.
Right. I was just going to say, if he wins, if for some godly reason the Carolina Panthers wins, and Baker Mayfield's going to try to shake everyone's hand, everyone. But if they lose, and it's a dominant performance by the Browns defense, and he has a horrible game, I see his immaturity rising to the surface again, and him having a small handshake and running the heck out of the stadium, and not wanting to revisit with old friends and what have you. I think it all is predicated on whether he wins or loses. I don't see his maturity level, shaking Stefanski's hand and definitely not Myles Garrett or any of those guys on the defense if he plays poorly. But it's all predicated on whether or not he wins the game or not.
DeQuell, I saw yesterday that Christian McCaffrey had to miss practice on Wednesday with a shin injury. I mean, here he is. Their hopes rest on Christian McCaffrey.
No doubt.
What do you see them getting out of him? I know it's impossible to predict injury, but it isn't unfair to ask if this guy can stay healthy after what we've seen the last two seasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's MVP caliber, without a doubt, when he's healthy. You put the ball in his hands, similar to the situation Baker Mayfield just left from. So he's right back in a situation where McCaffrey is the guy. If he's ready to go, if he's healthy enough to put on that helmet, strap up, lace up, the ball's going to be in his hand. Because they paid this guy a lot of money, and he hasn't really been on the field the last few years. The injury bug is really, is on him right now, so he needs to shake it. So they're going to do whatever they can while he's healthy to maximize his touches and get him the ball. And again, if he's not available, Baker Mayfield,
Oh,
we're
that's
going to
going
see
to be
you
a long
dropping back.
Sunday if he
30,
can't.
40,
He'll
it's gonna
play.
be a
But
long-
Just to clarify, he didn't miss practice. He
was
did
held out.
Okay.
Is what I read. I was ready. He was
No,
held
he was
out.
he was a
No,
full participant.
no, he
in practice.
Yesterday. Wednesday, I read he held out.
He
No,
said he's
no, no.
100%
Well, I did-
ready to go.
No, he didn't miss practice.
I got
Well,
a
in the
report
weather-
yesterday that said he was a holdout on Wednesday. Was expected to be a full participant yesterday, and
No,
then I
he
saw
wasn't
last
even on
night.
the injury report Wednesday.
Yeah, I've got an email that he was on an injury report. I can
All
send
right.
it to you.
Well, but DeQuell.
It's supposed to rain on Sunday,
Yeah.
so that could
That's
change some things as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will change some things.
No doubt.
Imagine being such a delicate player that we're like, it might rain and you might get injured.
Hey,
Well, he's missed a lot of
you're
time.
Panthers fans,
I know.
you're looking at he's your season.
He's missed a
He's
lot
your
of
team.
time the last 2 years. DeQuell, I want to get to the linebackers, your specialty here, because I don't know. Do you have any relationship with JOK or any of the linebackers on the Browns? Have you talked with them at all? Or
Just briefly when I
Yeah.
was there in the offseason, just briefly, but nothing more than that.
obviously, he's like JOK is such like a new breed of linebacker, right? He's like, he doesn't really look like a linebacker, I guess. He's kind of small, but
Right.
he is an immense talent. Like, I think he's going to make a huge year 2 jump. I thought he was good as a rookie, but I think he's in line to make a huge year 2 jump. Am I out of line, or do you think that's like?
Yeah, no, you're spot on. I think this is when you start to see him sink into his role of having one role that he can star in, and that's playing the linebacker position. Obviously, in college, he played multiple positions. They moved him around, and so the first year, you're a deer in headlights. You don't know what the hell is going on.
Right.
But this year, I'm sure with his athletic ability, you're going to see him make some plays. If I'm the defensive coordinator, the guy is so versatile. I want to see him play behind the line. I want to see him blitz more. I want to see just what he can do, because we all know he can run sideline to sideline. But he's definitely a guy alongside Anthony Walker. If he listens to Anthony Walker, he can get the brains from him and apply his physical ability and to actually be able to take over games. So I'm definitely looking forward to him seeing what his jump looks like, seeing how he responds, just how he gets off blocks. Because you're right, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He looks like a DB. But he's tough enough. He's proven he's tough enough to play inside of the trenches. And he can also, listen, when I played, I didn't want to, if I didn't have to touch those guys, I avoided them the best way I could, because my job was to get the guy with the ball. So if he can understand how to manipulate the bigger guys in front of him with his athletic ability, I think you're going to see him take massive jumps this year. And listen, if that happens, this defense already, in my opinion, is a top 5 defense. Arguably could be the best defense if they can stay healthy.
Right,
if a
sure.
guy like JOK can stay healthy and take that next step, this could be a dangerous team, even without Deshaun Watson while he's out.
Even where they've been hit by injury in the past, which has been the corners, just the defensive backfield, you're almost to the point now with Emerson coming in, and
Emerson's
Delpit's going to
playing
give you something, and Greedy is a guy that's going to give you something. I feel comfortable now, even with the risk of injury, that they've got the depth to fill in those holes where the last couple of years they really didn't, and it showed.
Right.
This year, I think
Right.
they're really solid on the back, on the front ends up front. If you're looking at this Browns defense and you're on the other side, where are you poking holes? How are you going to attack the Browns defense?
It's scary. I think you got to use how the Buffalo Bills attack, Aaron Donald and those guys. Really quick throws, getting the ball out of your hand, not really letting those pass rushers, Davion Clowney and Myles Garrett, pin their ears back and try to stay on track and not getting those 3rd and longs, those 2nd and longs. When that happens, that's when the play call sheet for your defensive coordinator becomes very easily. So if I'm attacking those guys, I'm going to try to hit those guys with some sort of hurry-up defense, so those guys don't have time to look at my formation, look at motions, and try to keep them off balance. I think you'll probably see a little bit of that from the Carolina Panthers, because they know what they're up against. They're up against a really good defense that's probably far along than the Carolina Panthers offense. So how do you do that? How do you attack, you want to attack them left-handed where you want to keep them off track, where it's no hurry, really quick throws, get those guys tired so they're constantly running on and off the field, and see how you can move the ball that way, and hopefully you get what you want from a point standpoint. But there's no really blaring holes in this defense. And you're right, listen, I love the fact that they have a slew of defensive backs because it creates competitive energy. Because if one guy gets injured, the next guy is looking at, this is my opportunity to be the guy. And you talk about Emerson. I thought he was a great addition this year. He's a big, tall corner that clearly can compete. So this is a backfield. Again, if defensive backfield, if they can stay healthy, they can be really, really good down the stretch when this team needs them the most.
DeQuell, are we going to see Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb actually featured like they're superstars, or featured like they're the top of the food chain at their position? You know, it's just frustrating to know. I get it. If you're going to tell me, hey, look, man, we can't go out to eat right now. We ain't got it. But if you're going to at least take me to McDonald's, I need at least 6-7 double cheeseburgers and some fries and milkshake. If you ain't got your receivers, at least get me full of what you got. Give me the running game. Are we going to see them?
Man, you would hope so. With, again, offenses, I'll say this again, like offenses aren't where they need to be right now. And as a play caller, you got to lean on the guys that are stars. And that's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And I know it's been rumors about him not wanting to be there because he has to, now it's creeping up. Now it's about money. I want to get paid. I want to be featured. I want to be the guy. Now you have to deal with those type of things. And early on, again, take the pressure off of Jacoby Brissett. Lean on those guys. And if Stefanski has a package where both of those guys are on the field, it'll be about damn time. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it and feature these guys and see who you have. Why not, if you're thinking about getting rid of Kareem Hunt at some point, see what he can do. See what he can do. You know what Nick Chubb is. He's a consummate pro. You know what you're going to get with him. Let's use this guy, especially while your face of the franchise essentially, and Deshaun Watson isn't around, to take pressure off Jacoby Brissett. I think it's very easy. I wouldn't overthink it. And I think this year or this game, maybe we see 2 back sets with both of those guys on the field. It's an obvious thing to do, right?
Well,
I want to see Kansas City Kareem.
Right? You make a good point here,
right?
Because we have weapons here, and one of my fears here is that we are sometimes try to prove we're the smartest people in the room. Don't have to be. Just use what you got, right? Yeah. And here, you got Jacoby Brissett here that you want to bring along slowly. You have other horses. Mm-hmm. It's time to deploy your horses now, right? So I'm looking forward on Sunday to see if we are not trying to outthink everybody and sometimes just smash in the mouth. When Ohio State got in trouble last weekend with Notre Dame, they fooled around and it became Air Ohio State, which is not that's not who you are.
Ryan's done that a lot.
That's not who you are.
No.
I see you run this ball and that frees up the other thing, right? Mm-hmm. I know the other thing is sexy, but the one is bread and butter. So when you got Hunt and Chubb in the background, use that puppy.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's going to be, even though we say it's not rocket science, it's really very simple. Coaches have big egos. And they want to see what they can do and what they can get away with, what things look like. If we open, we come out in a five wide set, no running back on the field. We want to open things up. They want things to look pretty. No, let's go win the damn game.
Right.
Yeah.
How about that? Let's go win the damn game and rely on the guys you invested in to win games like this. It's very simple in my opinion.
DeQuell, we talked about the last couple of days about taking the ball, or the coin toss these days. Normally teams want to play defense in the first half, get the ball in the second half. Jay suggested the other day he's a little worried about Baker driving down the field, so he wants to see the offense get on the field first. You have a preference if the Browns win the toss?
Look, if I'm Kevin Stefanski, knowing everything that we talked about, if we win the toss, we want to defer. We want Baker Mayfield on the field first. We want to put the pressure on him. We want our defense, the unit that's going to carry us right now. I'm feeding that to him all week. When I was in Indy and when I was in other play, and even when I was with Ray Horton here with the Browns, we would play teams. They would motivate us all week. Hey, listen, we're going to defer. If we lose the toss, we're going defense first. And I'm sure if I'm Kevin Stefanski, that's the smart move to make. Let your defense go out there and set the tone early with Baker Mayfield so he starts to question himself and question whether or not he should have made the off-the-leash T-shirt and made all these comments off the record or what have you. Start your defense first in this case. But in any other game, I'd have no preference, to be honest with you.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah, I have no preference.
Because the trend is just you defer. I mean, it used to be the other way around. The trend was, teams always took the ball. And then Bill Belichick decided that he was going to buck the trend and he was going to defer until the second half. And now everybody does it because everybody follows Bill's lead. My only thinking on that was if you're at home, I would definitely go that route. But this Carolina fan base who has watched this team just toil in mediocrity the last 5 years, 3 years in particular. I think they've won 5 games each of the last 3 years. I don't want to electrify them, and I always look at worst case scenario. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that, but I do know in Baker's history, he has looked great in first drives many times. And then I'm asking myself the rest of the game, where the hell was the Baker we saw in that first drive? Where did he go? So my fear is, and I'm sure Stefanski won't coach off of fear, but as a fan watching, to me, the one thing I do not want to see is Baker have a 7-minute, 80-yard touchdown drive, and Carolina's crowd base just got doused with vodka, and now they're really on fire.
Yeah, that's why we play this game. Because you make a great point. I didn't think about that. That's a great point, but I'm still sticking to my guns. I'm allowing Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Denzel, all these guys. It's on you guys to shut this guy up. And that's my message all week, no matter where we're playing, because it's Baker Mayfield. Right. Because he's disrespecting me as a head coach. He's disrespecting you all off the leash. This is personal. Whether or not I want to admit it or not, this is personal, and I want my team to know this is personal. So I'm leaning on you guys to back me up on this and go out and shut his behind out.
It'd be funny if Stefanski told Myles Garrett, hey, we're going to take the ball first if we win the coin toss. And then the Browns win it, and Myles looks over at Stefanski and looks over at Baker and says, we're going on defense. we want to see him right now.
See, DeQuell, you from Baltimore area. I want him to go tell Myles Garrett, in the words of the great Avon Barksdale, Strang, it ain't about that business. It's about that other thing.
I hear you loud and clear.
What's your prediction on the game? What's the final score? You see it high scoring, low scoring, close, blowout?
I think it won't be a high scoring game. I say the Browns 24, Panthers 10. And I think they score, the Panthers score late when the Browns are playing kind of a prevent defense to kind of run the clock out. But I
that's
think
our biggest spread, isn't it, guys?
It is.
I don't think anybody's predicted a 2-touchdown win.
That's crazy.
But hopefully you flex next week when you're on the show. McNuggets has to ask us a question here.
Yeah, DeQuell, usually I ask offbeat questions. I have a real football question here. You talked all lead up here that you wanted to see Jacoby Brissett play in the preseason, and we saw a little bit of him in the third game. But what's a realistic expectation here for Jacoby Brissett against the Panthers defense that forced a lot of turnovers last season?
Yeah, I don't see, if he has to throw the ball more than 30 times a game, we're in trouble. So I would say his stat line, if he throws the ball, let's say 15 to 20 times, let's say just over 200 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, I'll take that any day.
That
means he's efficient.
I think that's a win.
I think it adds to a win, and we're running the ball, and he's making efficient throws, and Kevin Stefanski keeps his plan the plan, and they don't deviate from it. And I think that's with Jacoby Brissett, not leaning on him too much and not putting yourself in that position. But I think the running game is going to should have an above average day on the ground if this team is going to win and obviously score 24 points. I think Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and along with Brissett really showing that he can manage the weapons around him and not blow a game, knowing that he has a really good, decent weapons on the outside that hadn't proved themselves a ton, but he's able to make those guys better because of his veteran leadership.
Thanks, DeQuell.
One more thing, DeQuell, before you go. Aside from the games that you played in, has there ever been a season opening game that you've looked forward to more than this one?
That's a great question.
There hasn't been for me. This is it. As a Browns fan, this is the biggest season opener I can ever remember. I can't wait.
Yeah, this has big storylines. I can't think of anything when I play, but that's a great question. I think this is the biggest storyline. Everyone's going to be tuned in to see how Baker Mayfield plays, how the Browns respond, what Kevin Stefanski's offense is going to look like, and because you don't want to start that narrative. You don't want Baker Mayfield to start. You need to win this game. These first 4 weeks are going to be very crucial for the Browns as they, get past and move into deep in the season before they can, get Deshaun Watson back, and we'll see what he does and cross that bridge when he's back in town and throwing footballs and leading this football team.
Yeah.
So,
Captain Jack,
we'll
raise a glass to a Browns victory.
Absolutely.
Raise the glass,
Absolutely.
my friend.
You got it. I'm always
I love
prepared.
that was off camera the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, he always keeps it.
I know.
He got a
Always keep it ready.
That's right.
Welcome home, young man.
he got a drip IV.
Hey, now, just so everybody knows, DeQuell, 3 weeks from now, will not be with us because he's going to Paris on vacation, because by then he's really going to need it.
But
He's going to be exhausted.
wait.
That's not
big
true, by the
news.
way. That's not true.
Big news. DeQuell is in studio next Friday.
Oh, yeah!
Yes.
Vacation's
I'll be
leaving.
there.
There
And
we
then
go.
on Saturday, he
there.
goes up into a spaceship with Elon Musk.
That would be cool.
I wouldn't count
With
him
some
out.
Balvenie.
I wouldn't count him out.
Balvenie
DeQuell,
whiskey.
Bye.
enjoy the game. We'll see you in studio next Friday.
Nice.
That's going
All
to
right,
be
you
fun.
got it.
Well,
The
Cheers.
first time DeQuell was in studio, it was a blast.
Yep.
I was just thinking when you guys were talking about it is going to be a huge game. People are going to be watching this game more than anything in the NFL.
Is this
for
your
whatever
biggest
reason.
Browns opener?
It
You can
probably.
remember?
It probably is just from all the storylines and whatnot.
Bigger than
but
99 when the
think
team
about
came back?
Think about what that says about us as viewers and as just people who are watching the NFL, because we're not watching. People aren't going to be tuning into this game because it's going to be the best football game. Both of these teams are pretty suspect, really, right now. They're watching because we love reality TV.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's
the
America.
storylines.
We are a reality TV nation now, and we
Yeah.
want to see the storylines. We want to see the close-ups of them on the sidelines. We want to hear the commentary and everything as we go. We want to tweet along with it and stuff, because from a football perspective,
Yes.
this isn't going to be the best game.
You know what, I
And
don't
we
know if
want
this
to
is-
watch it with me and Garrett and Mikey McNuggets.
On the
and
2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
Yeah.
We'll be on live with you. Make sure you check us out, and we'll do the post-game as well.
I don't know if this is true. Maybe you can figure this out. Somebody texted me yesterday from Columbus and said, is this a bad rumor I'm hearing, but we're not going to get the Browns-Panthers
That's right.
in Columbus. Is
Right.
that true?
Somebody
They're
hit
going to
me
get the
up.
Panthers or the Steelers?
Steelers.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know which one would elicit more hate mail. I worked in Columbus for 5 years, and I can honestly say I was in Columbus when the Browns left. So it's really not fair. But for the couple of years that I was there when the Browns were still here, it felt like it was a 50-50 split. It really did.
When I went to school, there was 50-50.
They can't make that work
mean,
somehow.
Yeah, why did they figure it out so you can get
it's
both?
2020. That's a great question. It's
ridiculous.
Come on, guys.
2022, right?
Yeah,
And the
so dumb.
NFL has so many restrictions on how they air games.
So
And
ridiculous.
where,
Like
for
NFL,
me,
don't you guys? Where that's the middle of the state, and both of these people sides
Yeah, just
care.
figure it out.
Don't be dictators and let them watch their football.
and
games.
Mike, to that point, there will be people Sunday that will just choose not to watch a game.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to see the Steelers and the Bengals.
Yeah.
So the
kinda
NFL
wanna
is
see them.
losing viewers. What I can't get my mind around, and I've never had anybody explain this to me, and I used to talk to the programmers at ESPN about this. I've never had anybody adequately explain to me why in 2022 we don't have the ability as fans to watch every single game that's going on regardless of where you are.
Well, you do if you have DirecTV.
No, but if you have DirecTV, I
more
said
at your house.
regardless of where you are.
Oh, yeah,
There's
right.
games you can't get on your
I
phone
know, it's
because, well, you're in
ridiculous.
this market and we're
There's
not going to
no
give
reason
you
for
that
that.
game.
It's inexcusable.
Their total number of viewers would go up.
I'm watching both games.
I can
this
tell you
weekend.
exactly why
I will
they do
too,
it.
but a lot of people can't.
The reason they do this is because they're stupid people.
That's
You
the
know how
only
many
explanation
You know
there
how many
is.
dumb bosses we've all
you're right.
had?
Yeah.
You're like, how the hell did you get here?
Most of the bosses are the dumbest guy in the office.
You're like,
Most cases.
so your dad ran the line, now you run the line,
Yeah.
and your nephew's gonna run the line.
Right.
You guys are idiots.
One
Yeah,
more thing.
it really is dumb.
If you are working at Days Inn Hotel Bar in Mansfield,
Jesus.
you guys better gear up and staff up because you're going to have a bunch of
that where the
Columbus
dividing
people
line
driving
is?
up.
that is the dividing line
And you're
of the
going to
markets.
be all those hotel
It's
bars
so
are going to
dumb.
be packed.
Yeah.
So dumb.
And
But-
you know this how.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He may have driven there at
Yeah,
times
right.
too.
Shout
the
out
way-
Cheryl at the Days Inn.
By the way, just to
the best.
clarify the McCaffrey thing, he did not miss practice, Jay. He did not miss practice.
I don't know what I saw. I got a
He
report
didn't
that
miss
said he
practice.
was held out Wednesday.
No, he didn't miss practice.
I love it.
I got to find that now.
We're back to this.
And there's no real injury. He
Some
just
gam-
got He got scratched by a cleat, and that's why they put him
Somebody's
on the
by
injury
a
report.
parlay
There's
sheet
no
going
injury.
crazy right now.
What I looked at, what was sent to me, and unless it
Yeah.
was faked,
Yeah.
what was sent to me was Carolina's official injury report.
Yeah.
And it said, and it was yesterday, so it had already said.
I was
it
just
wasn't
looking
like,
at the injury report.
Yeah,
He got
I
scratched
want
by
to
a
look and
cleat.
see if I can find what I saw
Yeah.
again, because I
That
can't
means
remember.
Christian McCaffrey's going to
Jay,
have
while you're
tetanus
looking at
in
that,
like
let's
2
go to
days.
prop bets, 'cause we got
Yes.
10 to get to, and we got some headlines. So
Let's go. You know
without
what? We should have
further
done
ado-
prop bets with DeQuell too.
I was
What'd
thinking
you say?
about.
We should have
that.
ripped off some prop bets with DeQuell too.
Let's
I
go
was
to
thinking
we
about
had talked to him in 3 weeks, and I think we did a pretty good job getting all the
Pertinent information.
pertinent
No,
things.
we did. Yeah, we hit all the bases I wanted to hit with him for sure.
So here's what we're going to do prop bets, because we're still working on how to make the graphics. I'm going to give you guys the prop bet. I'm going to tell you guys how all 7 of us bet. We did get answers from all 7 of us, including 2 who aren't on. Jason and Tyvis sent in their
All right.
results as well.
Let's go, Mikey.
And then
Let's
we
get it
can
rolling.
talk about them for a second. So let's take
Yeah.
the first one here. Over under 41.5 total points in the game. The over, Polk and Jay, G, Brad, Tyvis, Bo, and Jason all took the under. Explain yourself.
Okay, so I was under. I was early in the week. I was 21-17.
Yeah.
As the week has gone on, and I've listened to more from Carolina, we already know what we're hearing here. So I've listened. I think it's going to be the storyline of the game is going to be the rookie left tackle against Myles Garrett. He's going to be over his skis from jump, and it's going to be a real problem. There are those in Carolina that cover the team that tell me that the team is outwardly confident that he's going to handle it, but they're quietly very concerned about what's going on.
Yeah.
And they should be. I mean, he's going up
So
against.
why does that make you
a
go
top-
to the over then?
Because I think the Browns are going to. I could be wrong. I think they're going to run the hell out of this football, and you'll see that when I give my headline at the end of prop bets. I think they're going to run the football a lot, and I think they're going to be successful doing so. I came to an epiphany Thursday night, or Wednesday night, 2 nights ago. We talked about this a million times. You brought it up earlier. DeQuell talked about it. When are we going to see I believe that Kevin Stefanski in the offseason, after looking at all the tape, and he's going to say after the game, I didn't do this because the fans have been screaming about it. I did this because I've watched everything over again, and I've realized I wasn't using these guys properly. I believe that the way he's going to use Chubb and Hunt is going to be much closer to the way we want him to use them. And again, not because that's what we want. I think he's smart enough. He's looked at the tape just like we watch the games in real time.
Why wasn't he smart enough last year to
I
see
think
that?
there
though?
was some stubbornness going on last year. I do. I think, and also when you change what you're doing inside a season, it makes it look like you're caving to outside pressure. If you decide to make that pivot after an offseason,
Yeah.
I think you can easily claim the fact that I looked at it and I wasn't using these guys right. I've
And
got
now we
two
have some different. We
thoroughbreds.
now have some different personnel too that it matches up better with. You have some
Absolutely.
coverage
He's
like
got
that.
other things to say as to why he made the decision.
I think the game's going to be under because there is going to be a lot of running in this game. There's not going to be a lot of passing by either team, which means the clock moves.
Sure.
Neither team has a great offense, even though they both have good running games. So I think we'll see a lot of settling for field goals. And so ultimately, I expect
Why do
it
you
to
have
be
it over,
definitely
Mike?
under.
Mike was the only other one that had it over.
Mike
Yeah.
had the other over.
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna be much over, but I think I think both these teams are capable of scoring more than 20 points, and I also think that the final score is going to be 24-20 Panthers.
What?
I know.
24 what?
That's what I think it's going to be.
You're going to the game, right?
Yeah.
When do you leave?
Saturday after right after we do the Velasano bike
you've got
ride.
the bike ride
We're
Saturday.
gonna ride our bikes right onto a plane, head down to Carolina, and just
Wow.
start cocktailing. So look out.
By the way,
Yeah, look out, Carolina. Here he comes.
He's not the only person that has the Brown. There's a couple of people. Dustin Fox has the Brown losing in this game. There's a lot of people, local people, who think the
Yeah,
Browns are
you
going to lose
shouldn't
this
pick
game.
the Browns just because you're a Browns
No,
fan.
I never do.
no,
If I think the Browns are going to lose, I say they're going to lose. I just don't. On this particular
listen,
matchup,
yeah,
I don't think
From
they're
your
going
lips
to
to
lose.
God's ears.
Yeah,
I
that's
hope you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sold on the Cleveland Browns defense. I just really feel like that's why I got them under, right?
Yeah.
Because I think they're going to hold everybody.
I think the Browns. I think Monday the story.
I think they're going to meet the moment.
I think Monday the story is going to be the Browns' offense. I know everybody's talking about the defense, but I do think Monday we're all going to be saying,
Lord, I
okay,
hope.
this is what we've been waiting for.
Would that not be amazing? That'd be great.
That's what I'm hoping.
What's
for.
number 2 here, Mike?
Number 2.
So between the 7 of us, we have never agreed on anything in the history of America. And
true.
the next 2 prop bets were all
That's
unanimous.
impossible.
I swear to you, unanimous. So we're going to do both of these. We'll hit on them real quick. We're going to knock out 2 in a row. The first one, let's take it here, Mike. Over 15.5 carries for Nick Chubb. Everyone said over. Let's cut right to the next one, which is over 33.5 receiving yards for Njoku. 14-0, we're taking the overs. No one said the under, so we'll make these quick. But anyone explain why they took either pick?
I mean, they seem pretty obvious. You never know.
I thought they were low numbers.
Yeah.
I thought 15.5 rushing attempts for Nick. If he doesn't have 16 rushing attempts,
then it's a
we're in trouble.
It's a crime.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
It's a crime.
Unless
he's injured.
Unless Kareem Hunt got 18 carries or something for some reason, 18, 17.
Or if there's a game, if the game's a blowout, if the Browns are
better
winning
run
big
the
or
ball
whatever.
on Sunday, and then for the Njoku, you saw what kind of passes Brissett was throwing. He's throwing short ones. I mean,
that's all he's got. He's going to need 5 receptions to get over 33.
He's going to get you.
I definitely think the Chubb is the more certain of the two. If I had to pick which is the more certain.
Yeah, I'm with you. I did struggle with the Njoku a little bit, but
he's had plenty of nothing
because he's not very good.
I think, well, because he hasn't been very good.
Right.
But I also think that there's a lot of this going on. When an organization writes the kind of check that they wrote for Njoku, and I don't just mean the size of it, I mean the why behind it. A lot of fans were saying, this guy has not played up to a $14 million a year level.
Right.
What the hell are you doing? There's that natural human instinct to prove to everybody that they're wrong and you were right.
Even if it's not,
they're going to force feed Njoku if it's the last thing they do.
Even if it's to the detriment of the offense.
Even if it's to the detriment of the offense.
That's comforting.
Maybe he might just be open.
You're right.
Maybe he just might be open and they throw it.
That's the hope.
So I think there's some up here. Let me. I got to battle back on that. Hold on. Your value is determined by how much money they pay you, right? Because there's plenty of us in other industries that get a lot of money. They ain't worth a damn.
Yeah,
they ain't worth a damn, right? So, but he has an upside here, and I think that now that the coast is clear, that he's going to be able to shine a little bit more this year. I think there's some potential here, right? So I think when you say 33 yards, that ain't nothing.
He's sure to get 33 yards.
It isn't.
He's had plenty of games where he hasn't had 33 yards.
Which is true. But if he doesn't and he continually is under that 50 receiving yard, they're not paying him to be a 33 yards a game.
You had a guy under center who would rather look for Higgins than look for Beckham.
Right.
Right? You had a guy under center who would rather look for Higgins than look for Beckham. All right?
He was comfortable.
Maybe that's why Njoku didn't have any yards.
So you're going for 100. You're going for 100 for Njoku.
And there's also no Austin
$63.
Hooper to share drop passes with.
Or to trip over the grass grounds.
Yes. So that's nice.
Higgins.
Number 4, and this was a 3-4 split, our first true down the middle split. Let's take it. Over under 13.5 total touches for Kareem Hunt.
I struggled mightily on this one.
G, Brad, and Jason said over. Polk, Tyvis, Bull, and Jay all said under.
Now, trust me, I was all the way up underneath the covers on this one. I was under because we know what it should be. I don't know if he has the heart to do it. I don't know Stefanski. I don't know.
Baby Einstein?
Yeah. And the reason he does this is because I believe, and it's kind of smart the way he does his offense. He wants his offense to be, no, I'm not dependent on any one factor.
That's true.
If I can come into each game, I can have a different quarterback, a different running back, and a different tight end.
Like Bill Belichick.
And it wouldn't matter. This is just what we do.
Who was that? Little Alberto?
I actually screwed up.
It's not a bad nickname.
Yeah. I had to think about that, too. I was like,
You did said under, though.
I did say under. It was my screw up, not yours.
Okay.
I meant to say over because I do.
So what is his official? What are we going to officially put him down at? Because there's no fence riding on over under.
You could keep me on under if you want, but I do think it's going to be over.
I'm fine if he wants to change.
I feel like we should all vote on this and take up some more time.
Yeah. Let's keep it moving.
You can change him. Change him.
Change me to over.
Yeah,
We'll change him to over. Okay, let's get to the next one.
Before you get to the next one, just real quick. I hope we don't have to go through a season of him not using the obvious things that are with us.
What's your new nickname for him?
Little Alberto?
Yeah, that's
or Baby Einstein.
Baby Einstein. Hey, because here's the thing. He has had a problem here getting playmakers open. We got to find him the way to get the football. OBJ, we got to find him the way to get the football. I'm like, bro, come on, man. It's cut, copy, and paste the 4 o'clock game. You'll get a lot of people open.
Yeah.
I don't think they use him for no reason, though. And if for some reason they do get a lead, I think they'll go Chubb early. And if somebody has a lead, I don't think you're just throwing to him in the 4th quarter and risking his injury. So I think that's kind of why I think it'll be under. I'm hoping if something
I struggled with that one. I wanted to go over. I think my heart. My hope is it's way over.
Yeah.
We hope he gains.
I hope they don't need him and he's not out there. fourth quarter.
Number 6.
Oh, this was a good one.
Or number 5.
I bet we're
excuse me.
all in agreement on this one.
We went one forward ahead. Hold on one sec. We got to get the right graphic up.
Oh boy.
It is 49. I messed up 49. Yep. All right, well, now we got it. Let's take it full. Over under 1.5 sacks for Myles Garrett. It was not unanimous.
Wow.
G, Brad, Bull, and Jay say yes.
Over.
Polk and Tyvis say no.
Tyvis said no.
I'll defend us. I can't speak for him. I don't know what his reasoning is. I don't know. Maybe he's salty at Myles too. But for me, I told you guys, when I look at these games, I follow storylines. And that's why, despite what the numbers say, despite what the rosters say, I've just been a Cleveland fan for a long time, and my perception is often based on how I think things would go based on the history that we've had.
You're expecting it to go wrong.
I'm expecting it to go wrong. I think Myles Garrett, I think, is going to have an amazing season that it'll probably start in game 2, just based on storylines and how they go, especially in opening games with the Browns, especially when you're playing against Baker Mayfield. All these things are adding up to me to being just a really brutal, close loss down there where Myles Garrett, for whatever reason, doesn't show up.
You're expecting the Cleveland worst.
I am expecting Cleveland worse.
Can you get over that mentality if they win this game?
Yes, here's the thing.
Why in this town do we think like that?
Because
based on history,
the worst
talked
has
about
usually
this a lot.
happened.
Yes,
That's why.
Totally, I admit it's psychological. I think it gets in the players' heads too, and I do. I think
Very defeatist attitude.
Yes.
I do, and so but I think I'm always willing to change my thought process,
Let's
but
go.
something has to prove me right first.
All right.
Yeah,
That's all.
and that honestly, Bull always complains about the Browns' fan mentality as a loser mentality.
Yeah.
And I'll defend us as a group. It's not fair because there are probably many amongst the Browns fan base that will say I'm completely wrong. But I am with you. I've watched the wrong thing happen for 57 years. And, I don't need to list all the tragedies that we name. I don't need to do that. We all know what they are.
Yeah.
And particularly in big games,
Right.
the worst happens. Now,
but
somebody wants...
Having that attitude, Jay, doesn't do you any good.
No, but listen,
But
having
if-
that attitude
I know
will not
about
impact
losing
what
teams.
happens, though.
My teams had never won a championship until 2016, but I always had optimism when my team was in the
and
playoffs.
who did your team beat to win that championship?
Yes, ours.
And
Cleveland.
But the Cavs
And
won a
who's your
championship.
football
that
team?
year.
Yes, they did.
The Cavs won a championship.
Our in-state rival.
Right.
So you've tasted it. Your team went to the Super Bowl several times. Yeah, they lost, but
they
and
were
also,
awful.
Understand this: when you speak about it with such venom, you make it sound like we have something to do with the outcome of the game.
I don't speak about it with venom at all.
no, you
misunderstand.
do. You say
No, I
that's
don't.
that's a defeatist attitude.
It is.
That's-
I speak of it as I'm trying to pump people up to not have that mentality. There is zero
one
venom.
thing will take.
I'm going down there and
Make
cheering
it,
for
let me make it
Yes.
I'm going down there and
One
cheering for
thing
them.
will
in
wash
spite
that
of
Let me
attitude
make it
off.
clear. There's no venom.
Winning.
That's an inappropriate description.
Yeah.
Thanks for correcting me then.
Yes.
What I perceive to be venom from
Okay.
you, because
no,
you
it's
have
like
yelled at the fan
sympathy,
base
and
before.
I'm trying to get people encouraged to stop going in with
I'm not
that
going to go down
attitude.
and sulk. I'm going to
Don't
cheer
sulk.
I'm going to
Yeah,
cheer
you
my ass
will.
off.
But when you walk away, if you walk away with a loss, you'll be like, here we go
there it
again.
is.
But I will say, I'll say this, right? To Bull, I understand where Bull's coming from, and I understand where Mike's coming from. Because in this town, we always feel like the worst thing is about to happen. It's a sunny day, but we're walking around with an umbrella because it's going to rain.
Because it's rained before.
It's going to rain out here, right? I would just remember this when the Cavaliers won the championship. They were down 3-1.
And it felt like it was going to happen again.
Were they? Yeah, they were down 3-1. And you're sitting here, and you know how they had the T-shirt vendors outside the queue at the time, right?
Yeah.
And they were selling T-shirts for $25, $30, right?
Sure.
So when they were down 3-1, when I pulled in to do the broadcast, the T-shirt guy was selling for $5. This
Trying to
before the
unload.
game.
Pragmatism.
This
Well,
before the game.
that's a smart business
And I was
decision.
like, wait a minute.
That's a smart
It's
business
not
decision.
over.
So for all the woe is me, Cleveland has one of the most improbable championships ever with the Cavs.
And I loved and appreciated it.
Hey,
It was an
listen.
But we
amazing
also
time.
were up 3-1
It don't matter.
in the same year, and it led to one of the most improbable collapses ever.
Right.
Go ahead, Mikey.
We got 5 more and then headlines. So we gotta move through these relative pace here. These next 5 are all quarterback based. Over under 203 passing yards for Jacoby Brissett. Once again, a pretty split panel. Brad, Polk, Tyvis, Bull, Jay said yes. G and Jason said no.
Oh.
Gee, you should speak for the rare no.
Jay's not here.
I'll speak for Jason. His game is looking like 189. It's looking like 189, bro.
Yeah,
that's pretty precise.
It's like Marks. Everything in Marks is listed 189. You're like, dang, this is 189 too? Yeah, but here I'll tell you what.
Can I get some Ezekiel bread?
No, 189
Marks a
plus
quarterback.
tax. But I will tell you this: the reason he's going to have 189 is just for the simple fact that that's the winning. For me, he's anywhere from 189 to 220, right?
Yeah.
It's early in the year. We'll hope for that 220 later. If you watch it and you watch the Buffalo Bills, that's the formula. You see what happens when you out there and you think you're trying to drive around with the fast cars. See, Matt Stafford and the Rams, they said, oh, we can do this with the Bills, with the Ferraris. That's not the game plan. If the Cleveland Browns or any other team, that's my takeaway. If you want to play in that big boy league with Herbert and Mahomes in them, you better have you a Maserati, you better have you the Wraith, you better have something that got some high-test gas in it. And the other teams, even the lower ones like the Raiders and the Broncos, y'all might need to be on that program too, handing this football off. The Browns are 189 to 202, 220, somewhere in that area, because you need to be pounding them dudes and keeping that other team off the field. They might as well go ahead and start that now.
I got two highlights behind me.
I got one big play. One big play in the passing game puts them over.
Right.
Mikey.
Next one, on the flip side, over under 220.5 passing yards for Baker Mayfield. Bull, you're the only one who took the under on this one, so explain.
Well, isn't it obvious?
I don't think he needs to explain.
No.
I have to explain that?
The
Have I not
question was
explained
Baker
enough?
Mayfield.
Do you not have
The
faith
guy
in
gave me the
him
answer
and
was
his
bull.
ability as a
Baker
quarterback?
Mayfield is an average quarterback playing behind a bad offensive line against a defense that wants to rip him in half and is very good. Seems pretty obvious that he wouldn't get 220.
I think he goes over because of Christian McCaffrey. I don't think it's going to be because
He goes 220 because he throw the ball. And
That's what we want. We want him at 250.
Yeah, no,
270.
we want
I
him
want him
at
at
320.
270. Yeah.
That means they lose.
That means,
He
three
gets
picks.
220 because he's going to be throwing it
He's
that
going to
much.
be back.
think
No,
it's-
he's gonna throw it a lot and still be under. That's even better.
Even if it's he
that's
gets
even
something,
worse.
even if it's 3 interceptions, he'll still break that. Just hate-fueled yards alone will get him to 250.
Well, you know how a
Anakin
team
Skywalker.
when a team falls down by more than 2 scores, or by more than 1 score even in this day,
He throw
Yeah.
all you do is throw. And
Yep.
that's why the Browns need to score first. They need to get on top of this team and make Baker Mayfield feel pressure. We all agree that when Baker feels the pressure, last year on opening day, he completed like 75% of his passes. There was no pressure. It's week 1.
Still had
But
both shoulders.
As the season, he wasn't hurt yet. As the season goes on and the games get bigger and the pressure ratchets up, you can just look at this by his 4th quarter number, he starts to fold. So the Browns have to get up by more than 1 score, and that's why, I do think they will, and that's why he's going to go over. That's not a big number at all.
And also, by the
really
way,
isn't.
Baker is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league consistently when he's under pressure, from a blitz
And he's
or
going to see
whatever.
pressure.
And he's going to
from
see
jump.
pressure, and he's going to throw picks. So there
It
you
is
go.
the lowest combined total of passing yards
In week
for
1?
2 starting
Not a
quarterbacks
surprise.
in week 1.
Yeah, well, it should be. I mean,
And this next one is also the lowest over-under passing touchdown prop bet for any quarterback. starting
you
in
can't
the
get any
NFL.
lower.
Over-under half a passing touchdown. Bull, once again, you are the lone under.
I said
Everyone else went
yesterday they're going to score their touchdowns on the ground. They're not going to throw into the end zone. I see all their touchdowns being on the ground.
I think David Njoku gets a touchdown.
Yeah, I can see some really short slant pass that he runs in or something. That I could see something like that happening.
Or a hunt throw.
I like how
throw
none
a
of us
hunt.
are even we're not even pretending it's going to be a 10-yard pass anywhere.
No, it's like 8.
I just don't want
He might stumble forward.
When you go through in the history of the NFL, if you look at the quarterback of the winning team and you look at their line,
Yeah.
it almost never says 0 touchdowns thrown.
But I don't think there'll be a touchdown pass in the game, period.
And let's
Wow,
be, and
this is
let-
going to be a
Let's be
snooze
clear.
fest.
Jacoby, I want to. Jacoby Brissett is not garbage.
Exactly.
Like, I need to get that out there.
Let's
He
get that on
ain't-
a T-shirt, everybody.
He's not garbage. Like, people be acting like he just.
Like a
Well,
ball.
gee, he's one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, but
he is.
But I
Yeah,
give
but
you
he's a
that.
starting
played-
quarterback,
played
and
on
he's
some
got a
bad
nice
teams.
body of work.
Played on some bad teams.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. And that was awful.
Well, New
No, they
England was pretty
weren't.
damn
Well, I
good.
agree.
He was on New England,
Miami.
Miami.
Come on.
But he
Stop
never had
playing
a
with
chance
me.
to
He played
start
on Miami last year. They had talent.
Did
not
they?
a-
Defense was
he's
great.
not a very good quarterback.
All right, what's the next
He's
one?
not garbage.
Hashtag
He's not very
Jacoby
good.
Brissett is not garbage. Get it
Yeah.
trending.
We have 2 more, then we're going to get to headlines. First, over under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Baker Mayfield. And once again, a pretty split panel. Polk and Jason said over. G. Brad, Tyvis, Bull, Jay said under.
I think that little buckaroo's got 2 in him.
Do?
I do. I think I told you, hate fuel touchdowns. I think in the same way that Myles Garrett's season is going to skyrocket, I think, after this game,
Man,
I think we'll see Baker Mayfield come back down to earth just based on history.
I'll give him 1-1. He'll throw an interception. He'll throw a touchdown. He'll throw a little bit more, but I think it's 1-1. You get 1 pick.
He's
Totally
averaged
fair.
1.5 touchdowns passes per game in his career.
Which
so
is a
that's right
perfect
on the number.
over-under at 1.5.
And I would not be at all surprised if it was under either. That's the thing about these ones. They're all pretty tight calls.
Yes.
You know, he really is in such a dumb spot that he's put himself in. Because if his line isn't great,
Yeah.
the unleashed thing is just going to become an absolute
Why would he agree to that?
nightmare for
Why
him.
would he agree
and
to
that's
that?
the question. Why would you do something that can be thrown back in your face in
know.
such an ugly way forever? If he isn't, let's just say worst case scenario for him is Darnold gets the ankle healed and he's on the bench at week 6. How silly does that unleashed
How
t-shirt
popular
look?
do those Unleashed T-shirts become with Browns fans
They're
if we win this game?
Well, they're selling them for $5
Right.
just to get rid of them, but we'll buy all of them.
Oh yeah, if those win, those become a Browns collector's item. If the Browns beat Baker Mayfield,
Yeah.
this
Bring
week.
a couple
They do.
back.
I
'cause
will.
I'm sure there will be vendors around the
Oh,
stadium.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
In
have-
fact, we're one on Monday's show.
I'd love it.
Unleashed.
We have one more prop bet before we get to headlines. The same number for touchdowns as interceptions with Baker Mayfield. Over under 1.5 INTs. Brad, Bull, and Jay took the over. G, Polk, Tyvis, and Jason took the under.
Wow, that's quite a split there. Only 3 took the over.
Yeah. I think over.
I'm surprised Jay
He's
took
gonna be
the
airing
over.
it out.
Baker throws interceptions when he's pressured.
He's gonna be airing
and
it out.
I think he's going to get pressured nonstop.
And Denzel and the other corners, Newsome, Greedy. I think
There's some ball hawks
I
back
think we're
there.
gonna be waiting here, right?
Yeah.
So we don't even. It's no guessing game. We
Nothing.
know what you got. We know how you coming at us, right? And if I'm not ready to play, then shame on me.
They
Yeah,
better
you're
be
right.
ready to play.
Just got to get a hand up on him too. How many tip balls do you think he's going to have?
Well, that's the thing. He always has tip balls, particularly when the
right.
target is over the middle.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a lot of swings to McCaffrey.
yeah.
I just do. And those, if the defensive back times it right and sits on the route, those are pick sixes.
Browns-
So I think he may throw a pick 6 in there.
Well, this
Browns
is-
should have signed Taco Fall just for this game. Wouldn't that have been smart?
This is where JOK
Taco
comes
ball.
into play.
Yep.
Yeah, his quickness.
JOK should be sitting on McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
He probably will
I'm
be,
sitting
I
right?
think he will be.
I'm sitting on you.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be spying on him the whole game, but I
Right.
think there's going to be a lot of formations
I'm
where
fully
he ends
aware
up
of where you are.
one-on-one with
Because
McCaffrey.
with his speed and his ability to zig and zag to get in, I'm waiting on you.
yeah.
The good thing for the Browns defensively is, even though DJ Moore's a really good receiver, Robbie Anderson's a decent receiver, they don't need they can defend them man to man, right? They don't need help. Denzel Ward and
That's the beauty of this defense.
yeah.
It frees up guys to
Right.
do other things.
Exactly. They don't need the safeties over the top.
Traditionally, they play cover 3 and cover 4. They're in cover 4 40% of the time.
Well,
they play a little man-to-man coverage.
Right.
I'm interested to see how much they'll do that now.
I wonder if they'll do more now.
You also know this.
You've got
right?
2 good receivers
What do you,
and
what do you
one
know,
really good receiver.
What do you know about Mayfield? When he gets in trouble, who's he looking for? It's Higgins.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's always Higgins.
He likes his tight ends, too.
When we were in Cleveland, things got thick. He could find Higgins. I watched him during the preseason. He looking for Higgins in the preseason.
Yeah, there's no question they have chemistry together.
I would just tell you, if I'm a Browns DB, let me be aware of Higgins, right?
Sure.
Because when he gets stuck, he gonna find his guy. He gonna look for his guy.
Yep.
They
Can anybody
definitely have
even name
something going.
the Panthers starting tight end?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I just
I've heard
Tommy Tremble.
But he's new, right?
Is his
He
name
wasn't
really
there
Tommy
last
Tremble?
year.
No, he was a rookie last year.
But he didn't play much.
They traded for Dan Arnold last year from Jacksonville. They traded their second.
They don't
round
have
pick,
a good
CJ.
tight
His
end.
name is
Yeah.
Tommy Tremble.
Yeah, it sounds made up.
Sounds like he's from Guys and Dolls or something.
All right, guys.
All right,
it's
we're gonna do headlines, right?
Yeah, time to unleash a new segment here on UCSS. Instead of just doing your generic predictions, we figured let's add a little context to it. So we created the UCSS Times, and each of you wrote us a headline for Monday. So we'll start with Jay. We'll go around the horn. Jay, we're going to take your headline full. You could explain it. You could read it.
I will.
Tell us why you think it.
Before we go there, because I've got a bunch of people hitting me up asking me why why is he wearing a Cade York jersey? Explain this.
Oh, it's not a Cade York jersey. It's actually a Derek Anderson jersey.
Tell him how you got it.
Now it's a Cade York jersey.
Tell him how you got it. It's a great story.
Because it was like 9-10 years ago. I was going to the Muni lot for the first time, and I'm like, I got to get a Browns jersey, right? And when you're my size, it's slim pickings in what you can get because they don't make jerseys because there's no people that are heavy at all. Let's make them all for the skinny, obnoxious people, right?
Big Dog had to make his own.
Oh, there's total sizeism in America. The diet industry is a disgrace, all of that. But anyway, so I went to, I don't even know what store I went to. It might have been Target. It might have been whatever the hell it was. And I looked at the discount rack, and there was like a $10 Derek Anderson jersey.
So he bought it.
And it fit me. And I mean, it's a little tight, but I snatched it up. There you go.
That's
Hey,
Brandon.
doesn't look tight.
Cade
That's
York.
Is that
Cade York.
is that Brandon Whedon too?
It could be
Brandon
but it's got
Whedon.
Anderson's name on the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Brandon Whedon was going to be good. I really did.
Yeah, you still call that one of your biggest misses ever.
Oh, yeah. That's up there.
I'll co-sign that.
Oh.
Hey, so we're going to go around the horn with these
Yeah.
headlines because then we'll bring Tyvis in. So, Jay, you get a minute.
All right.
G, you get a minute. Brad, Polk,
Perfect.
Bull, a minute each.
So these are pre-written headlines. Yes. This is what the headline will read Monday morning in the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Times. Running start, obviously a play on getting into the season and also a play on how I think they're going to win this football game. They're going to run the hell out of it.
I like that.
And
Greg.
then the subhead is Browns use ground game for week 1 win.
Nice.
We ran out of font.
I know it's just a weird picture, but can you bring that back for a second? Doesn't Kareem Hunt look like out of shape in that picture?
Oh, not that one.
No. No, boy.
It'll be back in one
All right,
second.
hold on.
But also remember, we're on
I think we know what your
I know
headline's
we're on
gonna
a
be,
shot
too,
clock. I
boys.
just feel like it's necessary.
Let's go.
Like, what
It's
happened
all
with that
love.
picture? Kareem Hunt looks like he's 50 pounds overweight.
I
in
think
that
it's just a
picture.
compressed picture.
No,
I think it's weird. But
It's a
yeah.
compressed
I
picture.
think
to
he
fit
looks
in the,
really
in the
jacked.
article.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
That's all it is.
It's a compressed picture. It is.
Yeah, because Chubb looks chubby too.
We know
His
that he's
arms
not
look
done.
huge.
And he never looks.
Your graphic design is freaking out the hosts.
All right,
I love the newspaper look. It's really awesome. Go ahead.
Anthony, you screwed up again.
G-turn.
Now you
G,
can
you're
screw
up.
up. It's awesome.
90 seconds.
Go ahead.
Jesus coming up right now.
Yeah. Reality check. Baker is what we thought he was. And to be truthful, I think this happens. I think Baker comes out in the first few drives. I think the first few plays are going to be scripted. He's going to have some success. I think he spreads it around to Christian McCaffrey. DJ Moore might even get a touchdown. But slowly but surely, as the game goes down, as the adjustments are made, now they're not sliding as much. I think Jadeveon Clowney may get a sack. I think they might try to mix up the looks in the back end. And what really ultimately undoes the Carolina Panthers is the fact that there's going to be a late turnover, whether that's a strip sack or whether that's an interception that really limit their ability to stay in the game. And I think the Browns will win off the back of that and run the football to salt the game away. So he was what we thought he was, and the Carolina Panthers will get a good reality check because now they see what we see.
Brad, what you got?
Well,
Take it.
here we go. The Browns were surgically dismantled. Surgically.
And they fit that all in too.
Myles and the defense were ready, right? Because Nolan Richardson used to say when he was the coach of the Arkansas Razorback, 40 minutes of hell. Guess what you're going to walk into Sunday? 60 minutes of hell.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Good. All right, here's mine. Let's take a look at it. It's Crying Ginger Browns fan meme dominates internet. Visiting Cleveland fan was reacting to outcome of game. Now, the reason I went with this
You're going
is
to
that
become the Michigan guy. Remember the Michigan fan?
it covers both bases. If we win, I'm probably going to be overcome by emotion.
And you'll be crying.
We are 121 and 1.
I thought it was 119 and 1.
I think it's 121 and 1. I'm not sure, but I think it's right around there.
121 and 1.
Whatever it
It is 121 and 1.
it's abysmal. Whatever it is, so I'll be crying with joy
That
if we
is
win,
disgusting.
and then obviously I'll be if I have to watch in person. Baker Mayfield beat my football team. I'll be crying in misery if we lose. So either way, that'll be
Are
appropriate.
you working?
At the thing, no. I'm doing it just out of some sick love of the game.
So you're going?
Yeah.
You're gonna have on Browns gear?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
Browns gear.
excellent.
There aren't like real Panther fans.
Panthers
I'm
fans are
scared
super
of.
nice, Polk. You'll be.
Yeah.
totally
I'm
I
sure
don't
they are.
Southern
They're right next
hospitality.
I
to
just
me.
didn't want you in the
He's
stands
actually wearing his
hiding.
Baker jersey, which surprised
Come on
me.
now.
He's
No.
wearing his Baker jersey, which
No.
is kind
Just
of.
don't mention who you
wow.
voted for.
No, yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's another story.
Look at that picture. Look at that picture.
Baker chokes again. Baker goes full Baker late. Interception seals Browns win.
I didn't see you going that way.
Yeah.
Who could have guessed?
I didn't see
Hey,
that.
Yes. No, bring that back. Look at the stash. You
No,
see the stash?
that literally was the worst post-game look for
Oh
any
my
quarterback
God.
in the history of the league.
Yeah,
It might have been over. And I remember that game. That's the game that was in Denver. He lost to a quarterback coming off the street who
Brandon
had never
Allen,
played.
right?
Didn't play.
Yeah, there you go,
And,
Bull.
and Odell
Bull, look
Beckham
at it.
Jr. was
Look at it,
going
look at it.
crazy.
Great job with the picture, Anthony. It's a perfect pic. I didn't even ask for that picture, and you nailed it. I love that you put the Panthers logo behind him, even though that was from his Browns days. He looks ridiculous in that.
And he was 235.
Anthony, you
And
made
he's
up for that
235.
picture where you compressed Nick Chubb and made them think that he got fat.
Yes.
And
We all
We had
know
Thick Chubb and we had
Thick Chubb.
Thick
whatever
Chubb.
Bull just said.
Chubby
We all
Chubb.
know numbers. Baker, most turnovers and second most interceptions since coming into the league. Terrible fourth quarter numbers. He's going to gag when it matters the most.
Man, we're reliving these Monday, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna see
Yeah,
how
we
we all
have
did.
to.
Yep.
Oh,
You know, one
We're
of them
gonna
is
award
really gonna fit.
Yeah,
Just
mine
us
will
five
either
did it,
way.
right? None of the other guys
No,
did
just
them?
the 5 on did
Okay.
this for today. But speaking of one of the 6 of the 7 who voted or said Benson, our man Tyvis Powell's on the line now.
Yeah, there
Let's
he
wrap
is.
up the Browns coverage
Ooh,
and
look at
preview
Ty
Ohio State's
going
game
with the
against
button up.
Arkansas State.
I mean, it's a big Browns day. He's wearing a Big Ten shirt and a Guardians hat. Let's pull it
And with
together,
atrocious lighting that he should know better about.
Yeah.
Hold on.
right? Is that
Let
a
me do
shower
one.
head on to your right there? What is going
No,
on?
That's
don't
his microphone.
see if you pull that curtain, it's going to get dark real quick.
No,
No,
it's
let's
fine.
let him-
We're just busting your chops.
That's better. No, that's better. Your camera
Hey,
adjusted.
okay. Man, listen. And no, this ain't no shower curtain. This is the microphone.
Looks like a shower head,
on,
not a shower
man?
curtain.
Man,
How
give
y'all
me some,
feeling today?
give me some gear. Don't be stingy up in Chicago. Get some gear.
What you mean? First of all, I'm in Columbus,
No,
and I have
when
to
you
do
go
a-
to Chicago,
when you
get some
go.
gear.
I gotta do a hit section today, and this is,
You got to do it from that closet hallway?
no. We doing it. We
And
doing
before-
it
Wait, do you remember? Wait, hold up, Ty. Just one sec. The last time you came on when we had our sickness week, and who gave you crap for being in front of us? I think it was Polk again. This is the second Zoom location Polk's ripped you apart.
I don't care for it. Put a little thought into it.
Listen, I don't got no pictures to put up on the wall. Listen, you wasn't there. I had all my jewelry. I could have put up my
true.
Yeah, it would have been good.
jewelry. And
I
my
travel with
posters.
art.
Ty, tell us
Are
what
you-
your
I-
assignment is. Tell us what
Oh.
you're doing this weekend.
Okay, this weekend. So today I'm doing a hit section for the Big Ten. We're going. It's actually down at Ohio State by the RPAC, which is the rec center.
Right.
We just doing a little 90-second hit that they're gonna run tonight and tomorrow. And then tomorrow I got the pregame show on 97.1 The Fan in the morning, 6:30 to 8:30, and then I got to get down to do the Big Ten tailgate show. 10 to 12. Me and Mike Hall, we got Ted Ginn coming through, Antonio Pittman, and Joshua Perry. So check that out tomorrow.
You tell Mike Hall I said hello.
That was a
Mike Hall,
solid 2-minute plug.
Mike Hall was
it's
the guy
gonna
that
be
won the Sports Center. Remember the game show that ESPN had?
Oh, that was dope.
He
Yeah.
won the first year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Tyvis,
Hey, look.
how many minutes into the first quarter before that Buckeye game is over and we can shut it off?
4.
Well, I would hope to say like 2 or 3 minutes. You would hope that, they come out and just kill them off the rip. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen like that. Obviously JSN isn't playing. Well, I don't know if they're not going to play him. He's not playing. I'm going to tell you that right
Yeah,
now.
why would you?
Julius Fleming is still questionable, so we don't know how that receiver room is going to be hit. It's going to be a big game for Mecca and Xavier Johnson, who out of all people, who would have thought the guy that you be talking about? But yeah, and
Ty-
the running backs.
Tyvis, you think Ryan learned his lesson last week? That he had solid backs in the backfield? We don't have to be airing it out all the time.
Listen. I was hoping that how that second half went. I hope Kevin Stefanski was like paying attention because it's like, bro,
I just said
you
that.
and Ryan, they like kind of like, dang, y'all need to just running the ball is fine. It still
fine.
works.
Hey, guys.
If dogs back there and the pass game is a little shaky, it's okay. The running backs got you. So I think that will be the emphasis in this game. I think if they don't run the ball at least 30 times in this game, because that offensive line looked a little bit shaky in the first half. If they don't run the ball 30 times this game, something wrong.
Tyvis, we're going to switch to the Browns here, and as we do, I just want to give you an updated injury report for the Browns. Greedy Williams is out for the game with a hamstring injury. He's the only player listed as out. Questionable: Jack Conklin, Chris Hubbard, and Michael Woods. Now, Hubbard's interesting because if Conklin can't go, you thought they would turn to Hubbard.
Yeah, that could be
now
bad.
they go to James Hudson.
Yeah.
So we'll see. When asked specifically about Conklin's availability, Kevin Stefanski said, quote, "We want to get through tomorrow, see how he is, and make a decision."
He ain't going.
So
Stefanski also said Greedy Williams would be, quote, out for a little while.
Come on.
So
No.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
he will be out for a little while. So potentially a couple weeks.
So
Hey, what's new with Greedy Williams?
He's always hurt.
It's
I never
unreal.
rely on him anyway.
It's unreal.
4 weeks.
I
4
told
weeks.
you what to do. In the
He's their
preseason.
fourth corner at this
What
point
did I,
anyway.
Jay, what did I say?
I know
do?
you did. I know you
I
did.
said do what?
Yeah, you didn't want him.
Time to move on.
Time to cut him.
That's
Time
all
to
right.
move on.
That's not a big deal.
I mean, the ability doesn't matter if you're not available. And
And
this
sometimes
has been a problem.
It's just okay sometimes to move on.
Yeah, but
Tyvis looks like he's still fit and in shape. Call up Tyvis.
Oh, listen, Jada, I tell you what, if you get them to call me and get a workout, I give you 10% of the contract. But anyways, I think that was the whole reason why they drafted Martin Emerson, because I think they seen what they had in Greedy. They seen that he was up and down at times, so it was time to move on. I don't think that they was going to re-sign him after this year anyways.
No.
So I think that was the whole reason for MJ to get drafted when he did, which he had a great preseason. I think he's ready to go in there. And if not, you still got AJ Green. So it's a bunch of guys that are still there that they can rely on.
Greedy Williams take up a roster spot.
Yeah, it seems like a swing
I
and
don't
miss
need
at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. But
You just got to be healthy.
Yeah,
You can't miss more than you're
Emerson
out there.
will officially be the third corner for the game.
I
Hey,
like
G,
that,
I like
too.
the panda you got going on.
Turnover chain.
Yeah, I should pay that.
Miami retired their turnover chain, and Bull G. Bush decided he'd bring it back.
You know what I'm saying? You see
You
how
had to pull your jury out.
How did you settle on a panda?
it's just I actually, to be truthful, I settled
He was
on
in the
a panda.
designer back then.
Yeah, I did a panda. I looked at the Kung Fu Panda. By the way, I will deny this Kung Fu Panda. I had nothing. Your barbershop mascot has nothing to do with mine. I'm denying it. But I needed a mascot.
Get out in front of it. Yep.
So I needed a mascot, and the mascot.
Because everyone should have a mascot.
Yeah. Listen, there's a list of firsts. I'm the first radio broadcaster with my own clothing line and mascot, and this never happened before.
You know, there's probably a reason why.
Yeah,
it's radio.
Yeah, see that. But there's a reason why I'm on TV now. See how that translates. Right? You see how that translates. You got to have a mix. You're ahead of the learning curve, baby.
You do have a marketing degree.
I do have a marketing degree. We market the hell out of this. But I tell you what, man, shout out to my sponsor, Sucre and Morado, though, too, man. They got some nice fly gear. Let me see.
Are they officially sponsoring you now?
Look. What shoes you got on?
I got some forces. I got some for these light.
Come on, get
These
the
light.
camera right.
Get that leg up because we can't see
You
them.
see the leg? This
Yeah.
light, the watch game, hold on, look at the watch game. This is a time machine. I just was in the 60s with this song. I just ate some food with Martin Luther King. That time machine got me back.
Hey,
What, you better have
Tyvis,
something.
just for comparison.
Wednesday, boy. It's
Just
going
for
down
comparison.
Wednesday.
Hey, I ain't even got no more. Yeah, y'all done. Y'all
No,
been sitting here looking. I ain't got no more.
I ain't gonna tap it out.
Tyvis, that's a Timex. It was $19 on Amazon. And has a fabric bag.
That fabric.
It's a fabric
It's
bag.
an $80 minimum on this one. It gotta be at least $80. You can go right over the phone.
You can't come in with the Beverly Hillbillies, Jeff Robodini look on.
No.
Can't do it.
I would have accepted it, Mike, if it was the
was a wedding gift.
Rugrats watch from back in the day. I would have let you slide. That's a classic.
Wedding gift. You're not married.
No, Tyvis, let me ask you this question, though, too, for real. Now, we looked at the corners, right? You know, they play a lot of cover 4, right? a lot of cover 4, and I saw our boy Jalen Ramsey get touched, right? Yesterday.
It was awful.
Now, when we
you got my messages?
I didn't see the messages. I just knew. He's.
Of course you didn't
I
get my
don't see
text.
messages. But
Terrible,
I will say this: is there something when Baker's going to scramble a little bit in this game? He's more comfortable out of the pocket. He doesn't really deal with pressure in his face really good. How difficult is that if you're playing zone coverage? Because, they play a lot of cover 3 and a lot of cover 4. How do you not get beat and lulled to sleep and mix people in the zone as we did see with Jalen Ramsey the other night?
Well, typically how it goes is that, obviously as the routes develop and go into your zone, you pretty much start to man up whatever you got. Once the quarterback breaks the pocket and starts scrambling around, it's called plaster rule. So you take the guy that's closest to you and you turn it into man. You got him for the rest of your thing. Typically how receivers are taught is if you're running a short route, say you're running a hitch, and you see the quarterback scramble out, okay, that hitch turns into something deep. Anybody that's deep typically comes back short. So that's how you just have to know what you're checking. So if I'm on DJ Moore and DJ Moore runs a hitch and I see Baker Mayfield scrambling out, I know he's curling it up and he's going up the field. So let's just get ready for that. And if I'm somebody short, like he's running a post route, they're going to turn that back down and come back towards Baker because they're going to make it obviously an easier throw because it's not easy to throw on the run deep like that. So, yeah, you just got to know your rules, baby.
That's great.
Tyvis, how much do you – will we see JOK spying on Christian McCaffrey this game, like quite a bit? Not at all? What do you – a little bit?
Well, I think they open it up with JOK because, like I said, he is the perfect size, perfect athlete for somebody like CMC. If he can't handle it, they're going to make the change, which I think they're going to do that anyways. I think on first and second down, it will be JOK's responsibility. And then on third down, you kind of want to switch it up. And I think that's when you put your safety in so you can see a Dale Pitt or a J3 coming in from a drops position and taking a man-to-man. That's typically how we did it when we was in San Francisco. Giving you a change up. First and second down, you showing something, and on third down, you always switch up the look.
What'd you think when you saw the quotes from Myles Garrett about the text message from Baker? Did you see that?
It's a little hostility. It's something there. It's something there. I seen one of y'all tried to downplay it and say like it ain't nothing. It's just like because he said his family's nice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's definitely something there. They hit it on the head when they was like it started when he threw him under the bus and after that helmet incident, you ride with me like this. I'm your boy. Like you're supposed to have my back through anything, whether I'm wrong or right. You still supposed to be on my side. And then pull me to the side afterwards. Yeah. And we talk about it like, hey, bro, I don't really agree with what you did. You shouldn't have did that. But don't run to the media and tell them and dog me to the media like that. Like that's against the code. We don't play that.
Well, the smoke is still in the air. He's doing it.
Yeah, so I don't. That is there, and he's.
Let me mildly devil's advocate that though, and say, wasn't it Myles Garrett who complained, not mentioning him by name, but about Joe Woods' play calling one time after a particularly bad defensive performance? He said, they didn't change the scheme up enough. He essentially threw him under the bus without saying his name, or was that not as severe? Do you remember that?
That's what I've been in meetings. I've been in meetings like this. It's funny that you say this because when I was in Seattle, this guy who I won't say his name, but y'all probably could guess who said it. He got into it with the coach on the sideline because a lot of stuff was kind of vanilla. It was very vanilla, hilarious. It was very vanilla, and then once the coach tried to switch it up, he ended up making things worse. He made it start leading into explosive plays. So I think that's where Joe Woods was at last year. I think last year he thought, you got Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, and you got this great defensive line, then I can drop 8 and let these 3 or 4 guys go to work, and we should get home, which they were doing a great job of in the beginning of the season. I mean, Myles Garrett had a 4-sack game, so it's like, why do I need to blitz people if I got these guys that can get home? We can worry about them being helping in the pass coverage. So I think Joe Woods kind of got stuck in that zone, in that mindset. And I think it won't happen this year. You got too many good defensive weapons with the JOK, with the Grant Dale Pitt, who can come off that edge and have shown that they can be effective. So I think that he's definitely going to switch it up this year.
And you played under Woods, right?
No, Woods was not. I missed him in Denver, and then I wasn't in San Fran when he got to San Fran.
Do you think how much is he? You think?
But I do know that Joe Woods when I was in Denver and I talked to Chris Harris, he was telling me all about Joe Woods because he thought that Joe Woods ran the best defense. He was like, when we went to the Super Bowl, Joe Woods, we ran 2-man dang near the whole game, and we was good locking stuff up. I mean, they had Roby, Talib, and Chris Harris, so yeah, it was easy. Like we just got all we needed was help over the top. And I'm like, and I'm thinking about our DBs like, man, we got G. New, Denzel, and MJ or AJ or whoever it is. And then we got these 2 great safeties over the top. I can see them running a lot of 2-man because Joe Woods likes to run 2-man from what I'm hearing, when I heard when I was in Denver. So it'd be on the lookout for that.
Tyvis, have you spoken to Denzel this week?
No, I have not spoken to Denzel this week. You want me to? You want me to send him a message?
I would love to know what he's thinking going into this game. Even if you tell us just off the record, I'd love to know.
I hit him up and let you know what he said. Like, where your mind at for this game? I mean, you know, I see. I didn't get to do a headline, but my headline would be that Denzel pick sixes Baker to win the game. That's where I'm at.
Oh God, I know.
Oh, please be right.
Yeah, that would be. That might be.
By the way, if
one of the best ways to win the game.
If it happens in the final 2 minutes, we'll be on the air live. If that happened in the final 2 minutes.
How?
Oh my God!
Bull
would go crazy.
Bull might have a heart attack.
That would be the greatest.
What about
that? Would be the greatest.
Myles Garrett sacking Baker in the end zone for a safety to win the game.
No, you know what? That would be better.
Would that not be better?
That would be better.
That would be crazy, actually.
And they win 2-0.
Yeah.
Everybody in Cleveland would go crazy off of that.
Oh yeah.
I would like Myles to hit him with the helmet, but then he gets suspended. That wouldn't be.
And it's a second strike now too.
We gonna put us together a little trust fund, and we gonna get Bull a better jersey than that. You should know. Being from Cleveland, you should never get a quarterback from Cleveland. Never. You never do that. So
but they always are the most inexpensive ones in the Marks and TJ Maxx discount.
He probably got it off the clearance rack.
I got to go get a Nick Chubb jersey.
And Bull is rich. Bull is rich. Bull got all the bags. You know good and well you're supposed to have stitching on your numbers. That's an iron-on joint.
Whoa, hold on. Put the camera on Bull. I didn't even peep.
You didn't see it?
Oh, attention to it. No reason for this.
He's a Bengals fan. What do you expect?
I don't have a Bengals jersey either.
Jay just snuck that one in.
Yeah, what is that?
He's just a Bengals fan.
Jay loves that Buckeyes.
I'm not making it up.
Hey, at least I'm honest about it. Unlike other people in this town who are phonies about who their favorite team was growing up.
How can anybody fake they like a team? Right. I've always been fascinated by that.
Oh, I know people who do it.
Guys do it, but I'm always like, how in the hell do you do that?
I do it for Ohio State all the time when I go down there. I'm a recruit. I used to be at OU. I was
you still want Ohio State to do well.
Yeah. And
so you're a fan.
Well, I've turned into more than a fan. I was a fan boy. I went down there. When you say you somebody else, I'm another grown man. Yeah, man. I'm Will Smith. I'm Will Smith's cousin. Will Smith. Yeah, you know him, defensive end. I'm a recruit from Alabama.
You know what? It's sad because it wouldn't work today because they
right.
They would Google it right now.
But back in the day, it was
Oh
like
my
that.
God. He's a fanboy.
Wikipedia came out, changed everything.
I know.
We're getting no more runoff, Damo. Recruit line.
What's your name now?
Yeah. That's not you.
All my fake identities went out the window. Nightmare.
Tyvis, final score.
Oh, final score.
Give us Buckeyes' final score and then the Browns' final score before we go.
All right, Buckeyes' final score. I'm going
65.
You know what? I'm not going to overshoot them. I'm going to say 56-10 for the Buckeyes.
I'm not going to overshoot them.
And that's conservative. Yeah.
And that is a cover, though.
It is a cover. It is a cover. All right, what do you got for the Browns?
But tune in anyways,
What do you got for the Browns Panthers? Yeah. We'll see it kick off.
Wait a minute. Wait. I have you know that Arkansas State had their quarterback threw 2 touchdowns.
Stop it.
No.
Yeah, but stop it, Tom.
They got a
Hugh Jackson. It was Hugh Jackson.
They went for 122 yards. What you mean? They trying to go
He's showing that prep work.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's showing that prep work. Shout out to you. He's showing that prep workout. He's been prepping all night.
Stop it.
Tune in. The Ohio State band is great.
Yeah, what's the Browns score? Hey, did you guys see what the Ohio State band did Saturday with the drones?
No.
No.
Mikey, if you can call that up on Tagboard, it's the most incredible thing I've
Shouldn't be a
ever
problem.
seen at a halftime show.
I just was thinking the same
It was
thing.
all
It was
over
good.
Saturday.
I heard it was
I'll
good.
look for it.
Oh, it was. I thought it was fake. I thought it was CGI.
Tyvis, what's the Brown score?
Oh, 21-17.
21-17.
That's right in the wheelhouse.
21-17 who?
Browns.
Oh, come on now.
I
He ain't up here picking up
I just need you to hear. I just need to hear you say it.
Oh, here. That's your.
There go your tag.
We are not
there go
shy.
your-
They
there go-
did it for
6
you.
against Baker. We are not shy.
All right,
Good
Tyvis,
job
have a
on
great
you guys.
weekend,
Did
man.
Anthony whip that up real
Nice
quick?
job, Anthony.
Good job, Anthony. Anthony's quick on the fly.
He own it.
I like these little graphics.
Give Anthony 2 gold stars out of petty cash, please.
He did good today.
He always kills
did.
the graphic.
And you want to see his latest graphic real quick?
Sure, throw it
Let's
up.
take 149 full. This is
What if
just
it's
a
him
real quick
wrestling a
promo
dragon?
For our post-game show. We mentioned Jesus.
Mikey, we
Jeff
got to
Moore.
get a better picture of you.
Yeah, they have professional headshots from upstairs. That had to be my Twitter pic. So I just
Why
You
why
look like-
Jeff Floyd ain't on there?
You know what?
We had to get Jeff
we're
Lloyd.
working on a Jeff.
We're
pic.
working on the Jeff pick.
Hold on. That is literally McNugget's first day of junior high picture.
That was last year, like within the last.
Dude, you look
365
11
days.
in that picture.
The shadowing is
You
too
look
intense.
11.
He doesn't look any different than he looks now, I don't think.
G. Bush, I love that pose.
Yeah, listen. You
I
just
mean, you're
know what it
straight
is.
flexing in
Like,
that.
yo, just yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be a good segment, though, everyone. Check that out. Subscribe.
Hey,
Yeah.
go feed your dog, Tyvis. Enjoy the
see you,
game.
buddy.
We'll be watching you
Right.
tomorrow.
Hey,
We will
Ty,
be
I
watching.
was running to side stand to get my gear.
You right.
Mike with his first
side
button
team.
missed
No,
punch
no
of the
offense to
week.
Tyvis, I ain't watching a minute of the Buckeyes game.
No, I'm watching the pregame show because
Yeah.
I
Hey
do
guys,
want, I want to
we
see
do have
Ty. I
breaking
do
news
want
real quick. Actual breaking news for Final Takes. This is
Okay.
from ESPN.
The baseball thing, don't say it.
Is that your final
Why?
take?
Yeah, it's my final take.
Okay, then
Oh.
we'll
Yeah,
save
yeah.
the breaking news for
So
Bull's
save
final
it for
take,
me.
which is what
Yeah.
we're going to get to right now. So, Bull.
All right, that's what I was going to get to is the breaking news. Major League Baseball, for once, has made a smart decision. They
have.
rarely do that. They've made some significant changes to baseball that I would not have called smart years ago when I was one of these dopey old school people. I was much of my life, I was an old school baseball fan, and I've realized that we're all dying, and if we're going to get some interest in the sport, we got to make the sport more interesting and more exciting and more fun. And they've made some changes to the game that I hope will help that. The players, of course, are a bunch of whining babies, so they will whine about this stuff, but I think they're good decisions. Number one, a pitch clock in Major League Baseball. Keep the game moving. Get some flow to it. The umpires have to enforce these rules, otherwise it's meaningless. Minor league games are much faster. I know part of that's because they don't have these 82-minute commercial breaks, but minor league games are faster. So pitch clock, 15 seconds with nobody on base, 20 seconds with somebody on base. Let's keep it moving. These guys stand out there forever trying to throw the pitch. Number two, I love this one. They are banning the shift in baseball.
Yes.
This
Wow.
is huge.
It
This will create more hits. You have to be the infielders cannot be on the outfield grass, and they cannot be. They have to be. The second baseman's
Two
got
on
to be
each side.
on second base side. Shortstop's got to be on the third base side. You can't cross over. At least you can once the ball's in play, but not when the pitch is thrown. They've also added extra, or the bases are going to be bigger. I don't know how much bigger, but they're going to be bigger, which is could maybe prevent injury from going down the line, or
It's a result of players sliding off the bag
Right.
and being tagged out.
I know, which is replay has done that,
Yeah.
and
It's
was
a-
not what replay was meant for. It's the negative part of replay, and so it'll keep them on the base. It'll also, I think, will help with injuries too. Love all these rules, especially the first two. I think they'll make the game better.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Can you, once the ball is thrown, can you then shift, like
Yes.
run?
Yes, you
Right.
can.
But
start
you
running
can't.
to the
We
outfield.
can't have the
can't-
second baseman lining up in short right field
Right.
Right,
anymore.
yeah. And I think the key part of that is you got to be on the dirt.
Yes.
Like this nonsense that guys are 30 feet behind the cut.
Yeah. Right.
It's essentially changed the dynamic
I know,
of
it
baseball.
sucks,
It's taken
right.
so many hits
You can
away.
be on the infield grass. You just can't be on the outfield grass.
You can't be back behind the dirt.
Right.
I
It's
think
great.
all
I
those
love
are
it.
positive,
Love it. Love
and
it.
hopefully it helps you not draw away
Yeah.
young people from the game.
Right.
I like it.
All right.
Okay.
Mike?
So I told you that I don't think the Browns are going to win this weekend. That doesn't mean I don't want them to. I'm a student of history, and I'm not going to pretend to feel something that I don't just because it would make me feel better about myself. I've learned long ago that doesn't get you anywhere. So I just don't do those sorts of things. That being said, I will find a ray of hope for you right here. I'm going to share a ray of hope with you. We have had some quite bad opening days, as you know, as the Cleveland Browns. 121-1, and just a quick history to prove, though, that we are heading in the right direction. First one back in 1999, not a great outing. It was 43-0 against the Steelers. They accumulated 9 rushing yards and 31 total passing yards, the Browns did. So that wasn't a great performance, 43-0. 2002, that was the Dwayne Rudd helmet game. We were ahead, lost by 1 point because Dwayne Rudd threw his helmet off. We got a penalty at the last minute. Also an opening day game. 2007, Charlie Fry started. Got pulled after just over a quarter because he was so bad. Imagine starting and somebody seeing 1 quarter of you in professional football and then the coach saying, well, you can't do this clearly. We're going to just go ahead and throw the whole offensive game plan out the window. Put in Derek Anderson, ended up having probably the best year.
Pro Bowl season.
Yeah, 10-6. Probably because, and it was a total accident because we started that season with Charlie Fry really thinking that he was going to be the quarterback. Not a great scene, but still a move forward, 10-6. 2012, little step back. That's the day that's the opening game where Brandon Whedon got trapped under the American flag. That was not one of our prouder moments. So a little step back, but then.
Wait, didn't he throw 4 picks that day too, if I remember correctly?
That sounds right. Yeah,
I think he did.
Because Bull wanted to off himself.
We drafted.
This guy was going to be good.
I think he threw 4 picks in the first game.
He was like a 34-year-old rookie.
Yeah,
it was a Disney movie.
disaster.
All right, but like with a bad ending. Okay, last 2018 tie. Step in the right direction, everybody.
We were happy cheering.
And we, by the way, we should have actually won that. Zane Gonzalez missed a 43-yard field goal that would have sealed it for us. But a tie is better than losing. Now, again, had a couple of bumps in the road since then. But what I'm saying is I see the trajectory moving in the right direction, and I want to be proven wrong. So this is your opportunity, Browns. You want this negative Nelly to get on the positive bandwagon? Why don't you do something to earn it from me this weekend? Good luck to you.
All right.
Thanks for the memories.
Yes.
All right. So let me give you my final take here, right? And I'm looking forward so much to this weekend's game. Why? That's because it's the kickoff of the Brown season. Secondly, we get to address an issue that's been lingering here for a couple of months here with Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns and their separation. But really, I'm enthusiastic for one reason, right? This is the start of the Browns' ascension, right? We have a chance. The window of opportunity is here before us, and we're going to walk through that window, right, in quick fashion on Sunday. And I think that we're going to do that with a win. The other thing I'm truly excited for is this. After Sunday, I don't have to talk about Baker Mayfield anymore. It's over. Listen, he's in Bible country now. Coastal Carolina, wherever he is, right? And that's where he's going to stay. We're going to move on and get back to business, and we can worry about just being the Browns again. And I think this team that we play for, the Cleveland Browns' entire organization, is ready to move past this with an emphatic win on Sunday. Yeah. So, Baker, as I said before, all things are settled within the box. We'll see you on Sunday. 60 minutes of hell coming your way.
Amen.
One of us will be there.
That guy will be there. See, listen, everything I do has some sort of meaning in it. I don't just be doing stuff vaguely. And the idea behind the turnover chain is this. Yeah, I've been through a lot. We all been through a lot. But when you play football, the object is it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if the offense turn the ball over on the 1 yard line. We always say, make them take another snap. Make them take another snap. Because the more snaps you make the other team take and you can stop them, that means you got a chance to get off the field. The turnover chain signifies that we need to put a lot of stuff in the closet, put it in a box, and ship it away. The Cleveland Browns have a lot of talent on this team. We got through all the controversy through the offseason. Nobody is really going to root for you. Don't expect all your highlights to be cool. Nobody from the national media is going to give you no love. They don't care if Nick Chubb get 200 yards. Just always remember, it's just like turnovers. It's all about what you do when you get to have the turnovers happen. Go back out there, take the football away from the other team, and that just signifies what the Cleveland Browns is going to be about this year. Don't matter what they say. Hey, just go out there and get that turnover.
Bull, I'm shocked because I thought for sure everybody's final take would be Browns based, and I was going to mix it up a little bit and go baseball.
Yeah.
The one time I thought he was.
Y'all are like brothers.
I thought you were going to go off on
baseball on the brain.
Let's kill Baker. Let's put his ashes on the field.
I've said it all. Nothing left to be said.
I guess so.
Bull's first take was about killing Baker. His
I'm
final
sure
take.
it was. But when he went baseball, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? You gotta be kidding me.
Sibling rivalry.
Bull and I really are baseball brothers. And I figured I would just remind everybody in my final take that this weekend for Cleveland's baseball team, while the football team is starting the season, the baseball team is really beginning what I'm going to call the pre-postseason. Because if they want to get to the postseason, what they do starting tonight and going forward for the next 15 days will determine whether or not they actually get a postseason. The last time the Guardians played the Minnesota Twins was late June. That's hard to believe. They went all of July. Oh, hold off on that video. Hold off. I'm not ready for it yet. Sorry, guys. Ah, damn it.
You didn't tell me when to take it.
No, I was going to call for it. I was going to call for it. Damn it. That's all right. Well, good.
So, yeah, go ahead.
They didn't play them at all in July. They didn't play them at all in August. And now we're in the stretch run, and they're going to play them 8 more times the rest of the season. Watch tonight's game, if for no other reason, to see the first at-bat for Andrés Giménez against the Minnesota Twins. Because as they're getting ready to play each other 8 times in 2 weeks, these teams don't like each other. They really do not like each other. And for evidence, I'll give you this clip of video. Andrés Giménez in a 3-3 tie in the 9th inning on June 30th. He hits the home run. Now watch what he does here, guys. He Cadillacs, he kisses his bat, and he flips it right at the Twins dugout and then poses for the entire Twins dugout.
Wow.
Major leaguers don't like that. Fans love it. I mean, if you're a fan of the Guardians, you love that.
Yeah.
You want to see that. But there's this crazy unwritten rule in Major League Baseball that you don't do that. Like it or not, that's the rule. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if in his first at-bat tonight, Andrés Giménez wears one. And if he does, these next 8 games are going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun.
That'd be pretty stupid
Jay.
for the Twins. I wouldn't be surprised. You're right.
They
It'd be
might
pretty
get
dumb.
they might get a preemptive warning from the umpire before the game.
Yeah.
Because this is now 2 months brewing.
Yeah.
And at the time, the Guardians, I believe, were a game out of first place. Now they're in control. They have a 1.5 lead over both the Twins and the White Sox. And
2 in the loss column on the Twins,
2 in the
3 on
loss
the White
column,
Sox.
but 1.5 on both teams.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what the Twins do. If they're going to hit him, I would think they'd hit him on the first at-bat because later in the game, you don't know what the situation is. You can overcome something early in the game like that.
You missed a good thing at the end. The extra. He went around the base after he kissed the bat. And,
Oh, no.
He gave him the night.
He gave him the
Yeah.
He gave him Steph
I know
Curry
he
go
did.
sleep.
And, you know,
Got to hit this weekend.
yeah, they absolutely have to hit because the Twins are
game
going
side.
to. You got to have great pitching, but I can't wait to see what the Twins do to Giménez, how this series plays out. I know we're all thinking football because it's that time of year, but if you get a chance, peek over on the Guardians because there's a lot at stake. And
yeah.
also, here it is in the flesh.
Hey, we got the shirt.
This is the very first Ultimate Cleveland
I like
Sports
that.
Show
Yeah.
t-shirt.
I like that.
My man Earl just walked in with a whole box of them.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, guys, that's a really clean
That's
look.
clean.
That's a
a
great
sharp-
looking shirt.
lines.
That's
We
a
have the other
sharp
one, too, or
design.
not yet?
And I think this is Bulls.
The other one's in a box.
That's Bulls.
That's mine?
Yeah, that's going to be Bulls.
All right.
So do you want to slip that on now and get
I
rid of
do.
that ugly Derek Anderson jersey?
I will.
So this is our first modeling of the T-shirt. And
There you
I'm
go.
glad it's that one, actually, and not the one with those terrible caricatures where I look 90.
Nah, I need all of them with the faces.
So they were tight.
Yeah.
They were tight.
All right, so
If you haven't ordered yours yet, go to Cleveland Clothing Company. Put your order in. G. Bush, is your family put their
help?
massive order in yet?
No, they told me that I had to wait for at least enough for the cast to get a few shirts because I was going to order the
Well,
whole lot.
we got ours. It's the other order that they're taking
Mike
from.
is stuck
so.
on my shirt.
are you? Because the jersey.
The jersey.
If that
Derek
was a
Anderson
stitch-
jersey
If
won't
that
let
was a
go.
stitched jersey, this never would have
It
happened.
never would have happened.
Okay, wait a second.
That iron-on 3 melted.
I don't
The
think
boy
I'm trying
melted
this
right
on.
down. The mic stuck to him.
I got it.
Everything.
Here we go.
All right, this
Here
should
we
be
go.
good.
You guys are just tuning in. Bull is
I
dressing
feel like
on
I
air.
feel like we should catch this on camera.
Bum, 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 bum,
You know,
Suspenders.
you know him and my dad, the only dudes that got suspenders.
Real men wear suspenders.
Yeah, they wouldn't even sell them.
You're like
Here we go.
Okay.
Wow, that fits like a glove too.
Yeah.
Well done.
Look at that.
Well, the shout out to the Cleveland Cleveland Clothing Company. They look great. Order yours now. They're going like hotcakes.
Yes.
And once G. Bush puts his order in, it's a wrap.
It's a
right,
done
It's
deal.
They'll be on.
done.
They'll be on print on the second printing of
me
the
throwing
t-shirt.
those out at parades.
Yeah. Listen, I am gonna be somewhere throwing these out too. Like I got
some point.
I got giveaways. See, they got restrictions
We are
on
going to
y'all.
start doing giveaways.
Did we
Once
get clearance?
we're working on it. there's a lot
Because
of
it's easier to
legal-
get gold out of Fort Knox than it is to give a giveaway.
Yes.
To have a giveaway on this
That's a
show.
fact.
All
Well,
right.
We got to wrap.
Yeah, we're done.
We are back Sunday, not Monday.
At the 2-minute warning.
Tune into the postgame
Don't
show.
miss
Me,
it. It's gonna
Bull,
be
G-Bush,
crazy.
Jeff Lloyd,
I don't know if Mike.
and we're gonna have something to talk about, good or bad.
Don't
That
miss
noise
it. It's
is Bull,
crazy.
put his mic
It's gonna be
back
nuts.
on.
Yeah.
Be totally
goodbye.
bananas.
I think the reaction, Bulls, if it comes down to the last 2 minutes, it will be the most appointment viewing for Cleveland sports fans outside of a game ever.
Yes.
Because you will not want to miss whatever happens live. We'll see you in 70 hours on Monday on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We're going to recap everything that happens in Sunday's game. Go Browns, baby! Come back with a W.
Dig it, get a better chair.